Welcome to our fifth roundtable. We're here with the 2003 National Championship Bruins. We've got some amazing with us today. And I've asked them to put their microphones on mute, but that's not going to happen because I know this crew. So just bear with us. We're going to go here through the starting lineup. Who wants to go through the starting lineup with us?
Oh, I will.
Go on, Pup.
Go, Pup.
Yeah. Natasha Watley, 27. She's number 27 as a Bruin, not 29. That's USA. Anyway, she's the baddest ball player in the nation in 2003. Senior year. What happened to the picture? I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure she's doing great things. I can't see it right now, but I'm sure she's doing great things.
Hold on a minute. So we've got, and then Caitlin Bainey, she's on the call too. Caitlin Bainey, say hello to everybody. Hold on a second.
Hi.
I don't know why.
Caitlin.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. See it?
Kelly Anderson. Kelly, hi.
Caitlin Bainey, three-time All-American, led Division I softball. Her junior year, 2004, in home runs. Played professionally for the Akron Racers. All around, amazing hitter at the plate. Caitlin.
I'm wearing the same jersey. That's a feat in itself.
Yes, exactly.
So, Caitlin, talk to me about what it was like to be a Bruin, your experience as a Bruin.
Oh, wow. It was the best. It's the best experience, especially now because we have the same group of people that are still really good friends. And so it's just really exciting to watch this, especially because it's kind of like the same core group. We still hang out. We take trips together. We've been doing Zoom calls. But yeah, I just feel really lucky. This is just really cool. And I love being a part of the Bruin bubble.
Way to lead us off, Caitlin. That's all I had to say.
Okay. Came to play.
Nice, Caitlin. Have a day, Kate.
UTM.
Where's your fist pump in that one, Kate?
All right, now we got Toria. She's up next. Toria Mims Flowers. Batted .449 this year. Not too bad. Olympian 2004, 2008. 22 home runs and 70 RBI on the season. Big time. Toria, hi. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having us. This is so exciting. And yeah, it's easy to have RBIs when you have those types of hitters in front of you, right? When people are on base all the time, you just got to put the ball in play.
So talk to me about your at bat here. What was your plan? Do you remember your plan against Anderson?
I don't. I tried to keep it super simple, right? Just see the ball, hit the ball. No idea.
That chair.
Oh yeah, see.
Toria can't remember what she had for breakfast. Much less what she was doing 17 years ago.
You know, for sure. She's definitely right. And I do not have my jersey on. I don't think that thing with the stitches could stay together.
Toria,
I really like your knee pads though, Toria. Are those Trace?
Those were the good ones.
I know.
Sure. Okay.
The elbow pads.
We are
I'm
wearing
still waiting.
shorts, everybody. We are wearing shorts.
I'm
Did
still
you
waiting
get one
for my
for
elbow
work?
pads for my desk elbows.
Even being out on the field, I was a catcher. I just dropped on everything. So yeah, it hurt without knee pads.
How can you?
And Coach used to get mad at us when we wouldn't wear them at practice if we wore them in a game. So we had to have them on, especially at third base.
We had a discussion the other day, the white knee pads, remember?
I wonder if shorts will come back.
I don't think so.
No?
Oh, we don't have to replay it, do we?
Keira, did you get your Trace elbow pad for work?
No,
Worker's elbow?
I didn't get it yet. I'm still waiting for it.
All right, now we got Claire Sua.
Yeah. Rocky practice shirt.
Claire, can you tell us who's behind you? Like, I feel like you have a visitor behind you.
Oh, yeah. This lady, I don't know if anybody knows her. She's great. I love her. We all love her. She holds a special place in our hearts. So, it's Coach April. It's Coach.
All right. So let's talk about pregame rituals. So I know we've got a pretty special pregame ritual in the Bruin bubble, but who wants to tell us about their experience? Like, how did you get ready for a game, Mo? Like, we're in championship Monday. You wake up. Like, what do you have for breakfast? What do you do from the point that you're up, wake up in the morning, to you arrive at the field?
Yeah, so we were at the Embassy Suites, which I don't know if the public knows that they have amazing buffet. The parents got to enjoy a free happy hour, which how is that possible? I don't get that, but good for them. I had no regard for eating too much. I don't remember, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't. I'm run a ton. For some reason, it wasn't a factor. So it was really the basics. The pancakes were good. The Belgian waffle was good. Sausage links. Stayed away from the eggs mostly. We weren't allowed to read the papers over there. You can't read your own hype, right? You got to stay focused on the game at hand. Do not read the newspapers that you are in Oklahoma City. I'll tell you that. Amanda Simpson can tell you that.
Yeah.
Remember, I feel like we didn't even get to breakfast on those days because remember those were really late nights. I remember with our masseuse at like Tasha going for massage at midnight or something, and so I couldn't imagine
the ice bath. Hi.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
ice bath.
Because
We had to get that core temp down.
Puppy and Kelly, like how late you guys were up that night.
My gosh, watching film all night long or beating people in cards or competing. But hey, speaking of pregame, Monique, wasn't this your favorite pregame? Was this the 2003 that you had that phenomenal pregame warm up at the field at the World Series?
No, that was our freshman year.
Oh, it was freshman year.
Oh,
I remember that.
Monique wasn't going too well.
Freshman year.
Is that the one with high face?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a veteran here. You're a vet here. So
Yeah.
you have to go? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I stayed in the bus till it was game time, till they told me it was time.
I can tell you the night before, after the Texas game, I think we did pull an all-nighter watching the replays of that game. I don't think we ever slept. And then literally we started to smell breakfast getting cooked downstairs in the embassy.
Yeah.
And said, uh-oh, it's time. Like, let's shower, eat, and let's get after it again. Do you guys remember? We replayed Tasha Watley sliding and Toria breaking it down and so like running along Tasha all the way home. I mean, it was epic.
Oh,
that was the Texas game the night before. Yep. And every single night we were getting home at we were leaving the field at 10, right?
Yeah, it was like midnight. I literally, can't you remember the smell of breakfast being cooked all the time? You're like, Jesus, it was nonstop.
There's my grandma and my mom.
Is it dance? You saw that?
How about that Texas game? The most underrated base hit in the history of NCAA softball. Monique Mejia leading off the bottom of the seventh. We're down, and she has 2 strikes on her, and she battles off Kat Osterman and bounces this 15 hopper through the 5 circle with 1 out to get us the tying run on base.
And can you remember the commentary? This senior class. Down to their last at bat, down to their last pitch. Can you hear it all?
Yeah, that was the big thing. Right. Is that this senior class this class hadn't
the first team that doesn't have a national championship, blah, 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 blah.
How many times can we talk about it? We get it.
I know.
Well, it's because we lost the first game and had to come all the way back too. So I think that was.
I go that far back.
Do you guys remember after we lost the first game, what we did for practice?
Yes.
Yes.
In that
We
field.
And there was all
How
those
can we forget?
ladybugs everywhere.
God.
I don't remember
that
anything.
field?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We played the relay game.
Beads up to, like your ankles.
Oh, yeah, we're taking like ground balls and rocks. I remember.
Yes.
I remember Sue said we're gonna go practice, and I mean, first of all, we made history with the most errors in a game in that first game. It was epic. It was so perfect setup for the drama. But then we went and just played catch just to remember how to play catch. And then we went to 7-Eleven and got cookies afterwards to keep it simple. Remember, I mean, it was getting thick. We were like, get out of our own way. And do you remember the whole wit? Whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember I wanted to put it on the shirts, and Sue said, you can't put that on the shirts. But we were committed to, the pressure was big. The expectations were great. And this team, you guys ended up fighting your way back after losing game one. And I mean, I don't know how fun it was, but it definitely, you guys stuck together. And I think that's a big part. You guys are so connected because of what you went through during your careers. It's awesome to see you all still connected, because what you did, you made history. Literally, they still talk about that. To do what you did in game one and face the same opponent. Keira pitched in game one, and what she did in this game, unbelievable. Do you remember, Keira? This is what we're doing to Veronica Nelson. We're pitching around her, and she hit a bomb over the left field wall, and I'm like, this is not happening right now.
That wasn't part of the plan.
That was not the plan, Keira.
I wasn't even in my ready position.
I had my glove on my hip. I was waiting for the intentional walk. And what is going on?
Yeah.
You're not ready. So if the ball came at if the ball came at your face, zero chance you could prepare.
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
Zero.
KG, Zap, talk to me about that pitch. What happened?
Keira, I'll let you answer that. Only you know.
It just didn't go where it was supposed to.
Keep it simple, KG.
It happens.
That's
It was
probably
supposed
why
to
she
kind of
threw
go that
one.
way, but don't worry, I made up for it. I made up for it in this game, right, Zap?
100%.
Yeah.
My plan
That's
was,
exactly.
Tell her, sis.
I'm going to throw it way so high into the backstop.
That's what you did.
And Zap said, no, you won't. And I said, want to bet?
And she did, probably 20 feet over my head.
Oh, yeah. And I laughed.
You're lucky Zap is so nice to you.
You're lucky she didn't throw her back out.
Zap just wanted me. She did. Really, Keira? Okay, I'll go get it.
Okay, I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
right. Keira, you act like we were going to do anything that you didn't want to do.
Oh,
I hate when they put their bat out there like that. But I'm curious if it works. I think it does. Which makes this worse.
Hey,
You know what? This was our first game too. Was the first time we'd ever lost to Cal in our whole career. Which also played into the drama.
Yes, facts.
Wow.
Toria, do you remember that night after we lost to Cal, Rumi?
Yeah, me bawling the entire night and taking out those braids because
The braids.
I had to bring the braids.
Just absolutely bawling.
It was the braids.
Soraya had a pile of braids. Just tears streaming. Pile of braids.
I know. I was what did I do? Yeah.
Nothing went right in that first game.
Unfortunately.
Nothing went right.
Guys, do you see we have a new guest with us? Does everyone see?
Yes!
Coach!
Yay.
look at that.
Oh!
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Coach.
You're on mute.
Oh,
You're on
yeah.
mute.
Tell everyone when she comes on, tell her to take off that red shirt.
I know. Are we allowed to chant?
Yes.
That red shirt.
That
Take off
red
that
Off that red
Take
shirt.
off that red shirt.
shirt.
Take off that red shirt.
It must be really weird being in her shoes now to be like, oh, I can't put you on the line. Oh, you can talk to me like this just because there's no diamond out there, and you guys.
Oh, I told Tony, he was like
Monique, get out of
distracting
her head.
me.
Get out of her head right now.
Well, Tony was distracting me while I was getting ready, and I said, I can't be late for this. Then Susie Q's gonna make me do up downs.
She's muted. Tara, get her to unmute.
Yeah, we
I
can't
just told
hear
her.
her.
She's just listening to us, I guess.
I love it.
Hey,
We
Sue,
heard her enough. We heard her enough in our
can you
career.
see Claire's background?
Juice. No one hits the two. No one hits the two. Ooh.
Oh, Allie Chislock should be on this call. She has some insight.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she does.
Oh yeah, she does.
She does.
Let's just say she
Yeah,
kept
see?
a journal. She
Oh,
kept a
Maren.
journal.
Keep a journal.
Marin.
Did you see
Didn't we
Maren?
say this
You
was
know
like
what
our
else?
original Bruin alum coming to OKC?
Yeah.
And
I was just gonna say.
Sarge, Lorraine, like they started it.
Maren.
It's so awesome.
So true.
Yep, I remember that. Bucky was out there,
Yeah.
and that was the beginning of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ish.
Here, look at that.
What about the four
Long
horsemen?
at that.
Oh yeah, those guys.
That was this
Year after.
That was this year. right?
Next year.
The following year.
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't here in 3?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think they were here in 3.
Claire and Matt weren't that serious yet.
Oh, got it.
She wasn't allowed to come yet.
Where
Do
are
you
you?
guys
You're darkening your
There
hair.
she is.
Good.
What?
Almost
You
Darken
guys
your hair.
story will come back. Oh,
That's the
sorry.
first time in like 2.5 months. I'm not like Kelly, who has like pretty hair. I have to like actually do it.
Whatever.
No.
Look at the stadium.
I know now it's so different, huh?
Yeah, it's so different now. And then now they've added like another tier up above the
Mhm.
press box. They've made like sky boxes, and it's open, and they've added more bleachers even higher. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Are those like suites?
That was
They
close.
have like sky boxes.
Right? I think so too,
more
Zach.
for media,
Mhm.
for sky boxes. And you guys know now they have locker rooms down in the lockers. I mean, in the dugouts, you can go in the back, and there's locker rooms and bathrooms and all that in the back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know, like
Dang, she could hit the ball.
Monique.
Oh, that pitch you mean, Tara?
What?
That one?
Oh, did they just show it?
It's not, no,
Yeah.
that's
That was with you
It
then.
was
Different.
Arizona.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the highlight of our Oklahoma series was when they actually plugged up the holes in the dugout so the roaches
Ew.
could get in your backpack. You guys remember that? That they told us we had to zip our bags because the giant roaches would get in our bags. And then the next year, my senior year, they actually cemented the holes, so we didn't have to do that anymore. And that was a big deal. I mean, those things were like huge.
Yeah.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay.
Kira, I think I was like standing out there, so you didn't I didn't put my arm out because I was nervous that you were gonna maybe do it again. So like,
Well,
I
there was
just
a
like,
runner on base, so
Get
it's been
out of
through
the
your
way.
head. I
Can
walked
you
the
just
runner.
throw it overhand in those situations?
Well, now you could just do this, right? Like,
Oh yeah. you just- yeah.
Mo.
That's crazy.
Did you do
Like,
that in
just-
college?
put them on
I
base.
think I would roll it. I think I would roll it. I would take no chances.
She had some quick hands, though.
She was
Yeah.
such a good hitter.
Yeah.
He was a real good hitter.
So good.
Real.
Yeah.
We could not
She-
find a way
I
to
mean,
get
on
it.
an inside pitch,
She
them
was.
hands, woo!
105 watts.
Dang.
108.
Wow.
Yes, you're gonna
Look at
go.
Saki.
Look at Saki.
Yep. That was Coach. Great strategy right there. We just eliminate her because, yeah, I think that was probably one of the biggest parts of the success of this championship. She girl could hit.
Mhm.
Respect for her.
Yeah.
Much respect.
Inside, and then they ended up having to make the move later in the game.
Yeah.
The pitch
Yeah.
was for her, remember? And then she came up in the last inning,
Yeah.
and she missed her opportunity because they pulled her. So strategically, that's right, Sue. Strategy.
Yeah, so if I didn't walk the runner before her, it could have been different, you know. Like,
Yeah, maybe if you can not walk hitters.
Your volume is not working.
mine?
Wait, what?
Look
what
at that. Look
Karen,
at
can you-
that.
I know, I was like
Oh,
super
that-
serious. I wonder what I was talking about
Freshman.
right there.
Tara.
I was like,
That.
That's more serious.
Look at Mo.
Muted.
Here comes Kelly I.
Where?
With the
Look at Mo.
Throw with your French
Look at Mo's
braids.
face.
Oh my
I'm
God.
doing the pretend, like, I can't see, I'm squinting.
I'm surprised, Coach, that you had French braids.
Oh, look at Stacy. She looks flowy.
Yeah, she looks glamorous.
Stacy looks great.
Making Finch. Yeah, she's looking good.
They were exactly the same.
Year he didn't publicly go on air and totally back us. And there was like, whoa, wait. Whoa. Even though she was trying to be a professional. Do you guys remember that? It was like, be a
Yes,
professional
I do.
newscaster.
Oh, yeah.
Don't buy it. Because she wasn't wearing a UCLA shirt, basically, is what we wanted from her.
Yeah.
We wanted her to wear her uniform.
Yeah.
I love it, Monique.
How about Dre and Caitlin in the outfield? Left
I
and
know.
right.
Come on, Stacy, buy in. Let's
Look
go.
at Shirley leaves me hanging here. No love. Oh, KG. Totally left me
I
hanging.
got to her. I got to her.
Got her.
Aww.
Yeah, Caitlin. Oh, God.
They went through like 7 batters that first inning. That was long.
It's
Look
only
at
the first.
that.
It was 5, Zap, okay? It was 5.
Hey, who remembers?
Get it together.
Who remembers the Louisiana game and Mo's home run?
Her
World
first-
Series?
Yeah.
Yes.
Her first
I
collegiate
do.
home run.
And her brother got the ball.
Yes. And did they almost get in the fight, getting the ball?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
intense.
why they have the NCAA or the World Series thing where the employees go and get the ball and return it on camera to the parents, because back then it was like, you get your daughter's ball if you can go in there and like
Survival of the fittest.
yeah.
Where's Ramos?
Yeah, that's my dad's like, oh my gosh, look at us. I like to point out just how beautiful everybody looks with no eye black. I mean, just,
Oh, I
you gotta put it
know.
out there. You gotta use this platform, just make us dance against eye black, you know? Look at
I
that.
can't stand it. I hate it. I think it's so ugly.
I gotta use
No
this
eyeglasses, no jewelry, no bows. No bows. No bows.
Just straight ballers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just shiny shorts.
That's all we need.
And yeah. Oh, look at it. Chelsea Spencer.
Nice.
It's 100 degrees there, so the shorts were kind of breezy. It was nice.
Kind of brief.
True.
So
I
then
mean-
did Cal start the pants movement? Is
We
that
had
what we're
pants too.
We had
Did
pants.
we?
I think
Oh,
we
yeah,
wore
yeah.
pants the first night, I think.
That's right. So we burned them.
We burned them,
We
yeah.
burned them. We threw them in the trash at Embassy Suites.
And we said never again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
And
never-
they won in those pants, and so they're like, we're doing this in 115-degree weather. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And 95% humidity.
Yes. It's so
Yeah.
hot. You're in the dugout and you can see the heat waves coming up off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll get you.
Yeah, you gotta stay.
Wow, 1 for
Come on,
11.
Zap.
Look at Zap. You look so good there.
And no face mask.
Thanks.
I know, no face mask. And Zap, you got them button downs when you needed them.
Oh my
We were
gosh.
like, bunch.
Yeah, the buns.
On the way down.
Her bunch.
Yeah.
I felt like I kind of mastered the bunt there for a while.
Zap, you had swag. You still have swag. You're good.
Thank you.
I feel like this team was the only team that ever wore turbo slots too. Dre,
I
Turbo
love
slot.
turbo
Zap,
slots. I
only
love turbo
turbo
slots. I love turbo
I
slots.
wore them. I love those.
What is it?
I
Caitlin,
wish I had them forever.
what are turbo slots? Explain to us.
They had
I
like
think more than
pads.
Dre, yeah.
They had like padding on the batting gloves.
Here.
The pad in the thumb right here, so that
Right
you
here.
never got the bat in your hands. Because sometimes you'll be up there and be like, "Where's my bat? I can't find my bat in my hands." So you have to have
Are you sure, Mo? I feel
That
like
was only
Exactly,
you.
Mo.
our barrelheads were like this small. Like we might as well have been hitting with baseball bats. It was like, give me the smallest barrel, the most end-loaded bat humanly possible.
yes.
And if you sawed your own hands off, your hands were broken for like 3 games. Like
Yeah.
Troy and I would just drop that. We're like, oh,
Oh my.
Toria.
This was the first year of composite bats, remember?
That's a nice pitch.
Yeah, and synergy.
The synergy, pass it back. Didn't we only have like 2 of them?
Yeah.
Against Cal State Fullerton, we were like leaving it at the plate, and it was like 27 ounces.
I didn't play though till mid-conference. Somebody checked swinged and it went out.
Yeah.
At Fullerton.
Andrea, what size bats did you guys swing at this time? Dre and Claire and all of you. Do you remember?
I had a 0.
Not you.
I feel like my senior year.
32 ouncer Claire was.
Yeah, Claire was a big bopper.
I swung a
32 ouncer.
A 34. Oh gosh.
20.
27.
27, probably 27, right?
Yeah.
Is that big?
27 is kind of more slow pitch. I think the heaviest they made was 20.
Slow pitch? Oh my
I think
God.
it was 26 because me and Newbie swing the
Yeah.
same bats.
Whoa.
And then I got mad I had to swing because I was a lighter bat.
Yes, I remember that.
And I was
Dre, do you remember what you swung?
lack of hitting.
I think 34-24.
Yeah, I think you were dropping. And Mo, you remember?
No. I wanted a tennis racket. They wouldn't let me.
Mo could like hand clean her body weight. She was so strong.
She was so strong.
She was like so tiny and so
weight room queen.
I know. I was like 80 hours a week and all that just to make the starting lineup here. let it be known.
It was worth it, Mo. Good job.
Totally. I'll never give it back.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And you hit your first collegiate home run on the stage. Let's go after all that work. I like it. Hey, you guys, what was the pre, what was it called? Playoff. I can't even think of what it's called. Regionals. Did you guys do regionals and super regionals?
No.
No.
Just regionals.
Supers came the year after me, like 05, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't go to regionals this year. Did we host? We hosted this year.
Oh, we went to Fresno.
This year?
Oh, yeah.
This year, no, 3 were in Fresno for regionals, yeah.
Alicia Hallwell.
Nice memory.
South Carolina for regionals?
Yes. That was our junior year, I think, or our junior year.
Caitlin.
Got a bad draw. The number 1 team in the country goes to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah.
Let's not even go home.
That's a
Look at
sports
you,
bar,
Keira.
right?
Yeah,
Keira.
not like fans.
Hey, geez. So
Scoop that up.
Hey, G.
man.
It was 100-gram balls a day that I took, guys.
I remember how
Just
mad
kill me.
Claire would get because you would just chuck it. You field it and you would just chuck it at her.
She knew.
Halfway
She knew.
through, that is Mo's fault.
Remember this
Altogether.
week?
Why? Wait.
Ryan-
Claire, why?
Ryan and I would be at first base, and coach would hit Mo like slow roller, do or dies, right? And this is when T was still going back and forth to first base. So Mo would charge it as hard as she could, and then turn around ninja-like behind her left shoulder and chuck it as hard as she could. In practice.
Like where you couldn't see where I was going to throw it.
I and I would get so mad. And we're like, seriously, no. And so Mo,
You were ready. You were ready because coach used to do that drill where she would hit the ball at you from the pitcher's mound. And I was always like, no one is ever going to be able to hit the ball at you from a pitcher's mound.
To test us and see if it really worked.
Yeah, I had such an issue with it. I was like,
oh
this
my
is not even
Actually,
real.
you thought throwing the ball as hard as you could, as long as it was, you're like, well, if I just throw it to you and Toria, like right in the gut, like you'll be good. You'll be
Yeah.
good.
That was my mantra. That was
Yeah, but Claire, was she wrong? She wasn't wrong.
So then Keira decided that was a good idea too, and me and I were like, what is going on? Why is
just shove it in their chest and they'll hold on to it no matter what.
Kira had a gun. I mean, Mo had a gun, but Kira would pick it up and just chuck it. I mean, it was intense.
terrifying?
And you were so athletic at first, Claire. You could catch anything. And some of your facial expressions after some of those throws, I'll never forget. Like,
I think I got all of them. Claire was just like, I got you, Claire. You have my back. Girl. I got you.
All right,
Try it too. And did you? Anybody watch the game the other night with Try did the splits?
Yeah,
I did. That hurt me.
You made the diving play that was like Sports Center and threw it, and I just had to sit there and catch it. That's the play you're talking
Brandon,
about.
can you still do the split?
Sit there and catch it. You did the splits. My God.
yes, Tasha.
But I laugh because it's like,
So
why
good.
wasn't my arm
Tasha, you're so good. Dang. Behind the base.
Smooth.
Boo.
Like butter.
Tasha,
She's the Derek Jeter of softball. She's so good.
Yep.
So good.
But
didn't even
all the
realize
ground
we were
balls this
game.
game.
I know.
Natasha and I were talking about
There
it.
she is.
Hey,
I'm
Tasha.
Natasha Watley.
And I got braids.
And I got my hoops on.
Yep.
And my braids.
My braids. Remember them braids?
I've never seen this. I wonder what she's
Me neither.
Nobody.
And my purple
even
bat.
heard what I said.
What do you think,
What
Natasha?
bat is that?
And this is how I bunt. With her practice shorts on.
Practice shorts on.
Too hot for pants.
Tasha, I've never seen that. Look at you.
Thank God.
What do you think?
Like a 1980s background.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the 80s, Dre.
Momo. Ooh.
Yeah, Momo.
The funny,
Tasha
Tasha,
led the country this year. That was epic.
Tasha, remember in the morning you would not want to wake up?
That's every morning.
Tasha and I
That's every morning still.
And I know,
Every morning.
are you still like that? And Tasha would not, like, we would early's on time, right, Coach? Like early's on time, which means we would have to show up like 30 minutes before we left because we were fearful we would be late, right? Like,
Yeah.
so we're sitting there, and Tasha would just, it was a minor anxiety attack every game. I would lay in bed, and I would be fully dressed, ready to go, taped, hair done, and Tasha's still sleeping, and we have to leave in
I like rest. I really like sleep.
Claire, do you think that if you guys were late, you wouldn't have started today, this game?
Totally.
Yeah.
She would have been
Yes.
up downs.
Or I would be in like 6 a.m. weight room for
Yeah.
the rest of my career, my senior year.
Well, you guys, I could tell you in 1992.
Get it?
Ooh, run, Tasha.
Yeah.
Oh, Tasha, who doesn't want to be a hitter. I'm just.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yes, look at her face. Look at her
My
face.
favorite. This is my favorite.
Right here.
Angry black woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look,
That's
she's
when it was time to go.
Don't you smile.
Like you've done it before.
Yeah.
That's right,
Oh,
Todd.
there's Nicole.
Cool.
Oh, I love how she got up and had that swag with her face. But this is a good story because Tasha in her freshman year did not want to hit. Do you remember that, Tasha? She's like, I'm just a slapper, and coach wants me to hit. You thought you were more just slapper, and look at you here. Dribble.
Coach just kept trying to stretch me. I don't know why you try to keep challenging me all the time.
Tasha, that's okay. I wasn't a strikeout pitcher either.
Oh, Keira kept on saying that too. She was like, I'm not a strikeout pitcher. I'm not a strikeout pitcher. Oh, you guys are funny.
Keira.
Look at Tasha. She's got adrenaline pumping right there.
Fierce.
She's Sasha Fierce right there,
Two
100%.
people. I don't even know who that is.
But
Keira,
love it.
Keira, when did you buy into being a strikeout pitcher? Because I
I'm
remember
still.
you trying to mow us down in practice.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Oh, I was trying to pump you guys up. I needed to get you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
I need to get the most out of you guys.
Oh, my gosh.
If I wasn't talking smack then.
Battle,
you know.
Keira and Toria in practice.
And
Mhm.
Claire, too. They'd come over and be like, Kelly, you better tell Keira to shut it. We're sick and tired of her popping off. And she'd be like, I don't care. Step to the plate. I'll strike you out. I mean, you guys would get so mad. And I'd laugh at you. I'm like, seriously? You're playing the game with Keira? And she's like, I'll strike them out. They're just scared. And you guys would be like, wanting to kill her.
Well, then Coach would be egging it on. Coach is like poking the bear, getting us all riled up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And Toria would be like, I'm just going to hit it. I'm going to kill it. Toria,
She hit it through the trees that one day. I remember they were smack talking, and Toria hit it over the pine trees off of Keira that one day.
I probably said, you want to do it again?
And Keira said, you should have hit that. It was right down the middle.
Yes, good play.
I mean, Keira would never give you anything. Yeah.
Toria, we had some interesting bullpens with KG also, huh?
Oh, man.
So fun.
She challenges, definitely, but golly, am I glad she's on my team.
Oh, 100%. I love that because Keira, we all know you're perfect, you're beautiful, and everyone loves you. That's all we know, right?
Yeah. Got it done.
Exactly. Oh, I think Sue's back on. Can you please? We can't hear you. Say something.
Use your mic.
She has no volume. So everybody say bye to Coach.
No.
Bye.
Make
Love
it
you.
This is not
Bye, Coach.
Make it work.
I know. Make it work.
Does she not have volume? Isn't she on Zoom like every day, all day?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's just a mime, I think, when she goes on.
How do you just turn base?
Yeah.
She's just a background.
And then Caitlin yelled at me to do something. Did you see her when she went down first?
Did Caitlin yell at you?
Yeah, she said, "No, strike out again."
Oh my gosh.
Tasha, remember how I got you pumped up? Tasha, remember how I got you pumped up for your first at bat of every game?
Caitlin's
Yes.
such a punk, I swear.
That was how I got motivated from Keira.
That's right.
This picture was talking about your mom. That's what she would tell me before every single.
They were talking about Mama Watley.
That's why I had that face like that, because I guess they were talking about my mom.
They were.
They were talking about your mom. No, on a serious note, I think that Caitlin and Zap, they brought a swag and confidence to you guys that definitely helped you settle on the stage. Like, seriously, they were loose and confident, kind of cocky and back their game, right? They changed the aura.
And Zap was so laid back.
Yes, everyone, just the way she carried.
Sometimes to a fault.
I think that really helped in the repeat in 04.
Oh, 100%.
I was thinking about that yesterday. Yeah, it was like not pressure, but we're gonna do this, and that's what you need when you're trying to repeat.
Totally.
You know,
but they learned that from you guys, you know, like you guys took care of them, but you were also on them. Like you didn't let them slide, you know, and they were unwavered as freshmen. They're like, whatever. They came.
No way. We were deadly afraid of all these people. Are you kidding?
Oh, Caitlin, speak for yourself.
Hey, Caitlin, who was the meanest senior of all of them? Because there was Toria,
Me. Ask me, 'cause I'm the one that got yelled at all the time by them.
Who yelled at you?
True. I think
Keira.
Who was the
Who yelled at you?
Keira, all the time.
Wasn't a senior.
Yeah. And then I yelled at Keira. Stop yelling at them.
I
Keira
love
would
this.
yell at them, then I would yell at Keira.
We had so much fun.
I had to keep them tough. You got to keep them on
Is that
edge.
what it was?
And then I would yell at Kira.
Yeah.
Kelly would yell at us for yelling at
Hey,
Exactly.
who remembers the video of Keira when she was 10 years old bitching with her dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the
epic.
hottest person out here. I'm
gonna
hotter than you
Blow
are.
you down. I'm going to blow you down. It
It's
explains.
true.
Mm.
So funny.
Personality has not changed one bit, Keira.
No.
Not at all.
Don't
We
ever
still have you around, so we know you know how much we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I love you
remember
guys.
always telling the freshmen that they had it so lucky that coach just let them slide by. They never got in trouble.
Oh, we got in trouble. You know we did.
We got in plenty of trouble.
I will stand up and I will make good decisions for the rest of my life 1,000 times.
This wouldn't be the year that we had to run up and down Sunset and Keira refused to run.
And she was going to jump in front of a
And
car.
Sue threatened to drive up and down Sunset. And if anybody
I
was
ran.
not running, we just ran the whole dang week, not day. Like for the entire week, we just ran up and down Sunset.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys were
I
at
need
national
you to
team
run.
camp too when all that happened.
Hey, didn't you guys practice your penmanship? Wasn't this the group that really practiced?
Yes.
We had a lot of
And that was the
penmanship.
year before.
Oh.
No, it's
No,
that was
every
us.
year.
I mean, there was something every year, but
Quite a few times. I think
that was the I will stand up. I will make good decisions.
Yeah.
And we will forever remember that phrase.
till this day, yeah.
My finger was bloody. We had to write it 1,000 times. It was amazing.
Or you're not getting on that plane.
5,000.
Excellence in the classroom, excellence on the field. That's what it was. So nice. That's why that's why you're thriving in the real world, because you worked on all parts of your game. So proud of you.
Yeah.
So proud.
I would have hated to write excellence. I didn't have to write that one.
You have the new stadium. When was the stadium built? Easton, the stands.
94. You mean the redo, right, Tara?
Yeah,
I think that was my senior year, the redo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
we
sounds
still
right.
had to, you guys, didn't we have the green bleachers here, Cal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the
I
green
did those.
wood ones?
the wood.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, it was
like
your
we
senior year, Claire.
That
'cause
was
we
our
took the
dugout for a little
pictures.
while too, or our locker room.
I remember in a game, coach, when we had the wooden bleachers, and I was coach at first base, and right through home plate, my line, a large man fell through the bleacher. It cracked, and he fell through the bleacher. And at the end of the inning, I came over and I told Sue and Kelly, I was like, oh, just to tell him, like, he didn't go all the way through, but he kind of got stuck. And I'm like, oh man, a guy up in the stands, just like the bleacher broke and he fell through. And I saw the whole thing. And Kelly, you guys were like, what? Kelly's like, what? And Stu was like, go find Paul Brown and get that man to write a letter right now. And I had to leave the dugout, go find Paul, our event staff guy, to get the guy to write a letter so we could get new seating.
Oh my
It was
God.
awesome.
That is
awesome.
That's exactly how it worked. It's exactly how it worked.
I feel like in 04, didn't we play Texas at Easton and then the netting wasn't finished? So we had like
I don't remember that.
screens all the way up around. I've seen a few pictures.
A game?
Yeah, it was a real game. Yeah, because it was Texas. I remember. Yeah.
Holy cow! I remember there not being, but during fall, but I didn't know it was during a game.
Right. Kept saying the netting was in the fall, but for season it was. Keira, KG.
Keira, I liked your hair, your little pony, and I loved it. And
Slow you down.
Looks so good.
My philosophy was if you look good, you play good. So, you know, had to make sure my hair was done.
Keira, I love that your facial expressions are so consistent. Like this whole game, every time you pitched, you had like the same, nothing bothered you.
Exactly that.
RB, F.
Well, yeah, she's the same every time too. Like you watch it, she gets the ball, she goes to the back, she gets her rosin. It's impressive.
We worked on that a lot.
With Ken Revisa, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ken.
God, talk to me about Ken Revisa.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yes, Ken.
Oh.
He was our sports psychologist. Worked with the program for how long? Forever?
Forever.
Awesome. Everything
He was great.
At least everything I hear on TV nowadays is like Ken, you know.
Adjacent, yeah.
We're still using things.
We worked on with him.
Yeah.
Well, I think that he just brought something to the game that it was so foreign for such a long time, but everyone knew like that the mental side. I mean, pitching is pitching. You can go out there and pitch, but you know, mentally, how are you going to get through certain situations and, you know, letting go of what happened on one play and moving on to the next and really teaching yourself to do that. And I mean, just different breathing exercises. And I know that like for me, sports psychology was like huge in my career. I was constantly on the phone with him.
I think you did a great job also of kind of recognizing, like in his words, recognizing when it started to get to yellow lights, you know, but you needed a process to go to get back to green. Otherwise you went straight to red, and you had those moments where you were in the red, like you couldn't get yourself out. But then you eventually, that's what's so impressive. And what I love about the college game is you have time. If you're fortunate, you can be in big situations and learn. And then for you were rock solid, as Zap said, with your routine here at the end, and you fully trusted the process. And in the beginning of the tournament, you weren't there. You still weren't fully dialed in, and you know, took the time. Remember, you just took the time to commit to it, and then just trusted it and just went for it.
Keira. Cat like out there.
Let's play.
Keira, I tell Megan and Rachel and all those guys your story all the time. Because it's so relatable. Every pitcher goes through those moments where they just doubt, you know, and it's you're physically talented and everyone expects you to do it, and your ability to once again find a process and commit to it, because your mind is powerful. I mean,
and I think if you start to get that self-doubt, that's the most scary, I think, thing of it, because as soon as you go there, like, one, how do you get out, and how do you get out before the next pitch? Because you could just downward spiral. And I think that's the scariest part of it.
But that's why I say, like, a catcher, you know, Zap did a great job of keeping you locked on. She didn't panic. She didn't over pump you up. She would look at you like, whatever, Keira, let's go. That consistency, because her presence, I mean, I look for that constantly with catchers, you know, and they have different personalities. Some are like really fired up, but Zap was a consistent for you, so it stabilized you. I truly believe that. But your mind, your ability to lock on, I literally showed this to the team yesterday. I showed and told the story. As we closed out our pandemic Zoom calls before their finals, I showed them all these moments of Caitlin as a freshman coming in and getting it done after Natasha doing what she did. We watched Natasha, then we showed Caitlin the freshman, and then we talked about you and literally how you started the tournament, but how you finished, and showed your last inning of just your presence and your swag. Literally showed it to the team yesterday to remind them where we're going for the future. Like, we can't wait to get back on the stage. We should be in the World Series right now. Not should, as in we would hope to be in the World Series right now.
Right.
So we threw some clips up just to be able to remind them of where we're going. And our history is pretty epic. And you guys, this team, what you guys did, losing game 1, fighting through the losers bracket, beating Kat Osterman twice, what the heck? And then having to face the team that threw you in the losers bracket for the championship, it was crazy. It was a great story. And for you to throw a 9-inning no-hitter is history. Nobody else in the history of the game has been able to do that. But your teammates went through it with you. That's why I think you guys are so close.
Zach, can you talk to us about your bullpens with Keira? Like, what was it like being a receiver for Keira? Because you caught Keira, you caught Jelly. I want to hear your perspective of what it was like as a freshman to go in there and catch KG.
I thought it was, I had a great time. It was fun because I don't take things too seriously and I roll with the flow. So Keira, she brings that personality that if you're, if you have to click, you have to, like Kelly I said, have the right personality to, click with her. She's the pitcher. I was there to help guide her and it worked for us for sure. Sure.
And Keira, what was it like to throw to Zap?
Oh, Zap was great. She really was. I mean, like, she could be laid back, but then she could come out and say, seriously, like, what the heck? Like, what? She's not, she rolls with the punches. Like, she really did.
There were definitely a lot of times where I had to just, kind of put her in her place a little bit.
100%.
And I think we had that relationship where it was like, I could walk out there and say something very short and quick. And I think she got it. And we both kind of like, all right, let's go on to the next thing.
And then there were very light moments too, where you'd come out and we'd have some pretty funny conversations too.
This is true. I had to break up, just can't be too serious about things. So walk out and say, hey, did you see such and such in the stands? Or hey, look over there and see that. Or hey, Kelly, you came out here for some TV time, and
that was one of the funniest things. It was actually the next year in 2004 in the repeat, but Keira, like, I know her very well, and she's all pitchers, we know when they're kind of going well, and sometimes you need a little timeout. And as coaches, like, really, like, during that timeout, everyone's like, oh God, here we go, right? But I knew I was very close with Zap and with Keira, and I called timeout, and I walked out to the mound. Keira walked somebody, or I don't know what happened, but I called timeout and went out to the mound. And right when I got there, it's Keira and Zap and I, and Keira looks at me and goes, oh, hey, Kelly, I want a little TV time. Is that what you got? Oh my God. I looked at Zap and I looked at her and I'm like, oh, we're going to win. We're going to win. Like, this girl is loose and popping off. So we just we rallied it up. And I love that because she got to that point where she was truly enjoying the stage. And then she got to a point where she was pointing. Remember, Keira, when you were pointing to the dugout? Like,
yeah.
Every pitcher for her team, and she would like point to the dugout all confident, like, yeah, this is for you. And she would shove it at the hitter and they'd get out and be like, one down. I mean, she always had her swag going, but that was something. I have so much respect for you because you also, Sue left you in some moments in Oregon that, she shoved it at you and made sure that you knew you weren't going to just get, pulled out of the sitch. You had to work your way through it.
Yeah.
And you did. Yeah. There were some moments where I know you weren't really happy with it, but man, you're so physically or mentally strong.
Damn.
Oh no, what was that?
That was off Arizona.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
And we got the entire infield, I think, with us right now. We've got Claire, Mo, Josh, Toria. What was it like playing in the infield behind Keira? Claire, tell me what it was like, because she says she's not a strikeout pitcher, but we all know that she is.
Gosh, it was fun. It was fun. And I think we, obviously with Keira in the circle, like a lot of ground balls, like struck out a lot of people, a lot of ground balls. And what I think we loved the most was when she was so confident, like she's like, oh, here we go. Are you ready? Like she would literally point to Tosh or Toria and be like, are you ready? The ball's coming to you. And I kid you not, the next pitch would go right to her. And so it was just so much fun. Like and when she would have those moments where she would keep it loose and say silly things, I think the four of us would look at each other and be like, is she serious right now? But then she would get it done. So it was a good time. It was. And I think we did a good job as an infield holding each other accountable too, of just being like, hey, let's get it together. Like we can do better. So it was fun. Great.
Momo, what about you?
I think there were times where you had to ask her to pitch the ball to hit to you. Like, come on, Keira. And she would do it, like Claire was saying, she would do it.
Well, I think this is the at bat where I threw the pitch to the dugout or to the backstop.
Yes, exactly. But no, I mean, she was such a, Keira was the type of pitcher that was going to put you guys on your back and go all the way. There are few pitchers like that, and when you have them, oh my God, you're going. Yes. And I think that like she had that armor too, where, like that, it's like, I meant to do that. Yep, meant to do it.
Right.
That's funny. Or if, the umpire was squeezing her, like, I don't know, she just had that ability, that mental toughness that kept us all safe, very, very safe.
Yeah.
And Tasha, you've obviously been a part of a lot of different teams. What was it like playing short behind KG?
Honestly, the best. I mean, I echo everything everybody said. I mean, she was so loose, but like such a competitor where it was like, okay, we're going to freaking bring it today. So we got you. And like when you play behind pitchers like that, it's so fun because you want to go balls out. And because she's keeping it loose and she's fun. And like she chucks that ball and we're probably like laughing and giggling like, okay, but then able to reel it in. And I don't know, she was just so intense. So I loved Keira's definitely one of my favorite pitchers to play behind for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Toria?
Yeah, I don't know if I have too much different, but you'd kind of get caught in the Keira Goerl show, right? Like you'd be sitting there watching like, man, she's good. And then all of a sudden balls hit at you. So you kind of get caught off guard. But I think you even see her in this game, like she'll almost be ready to start her motion. Then it's like, oh, right, I forgot. The ball's coming to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm ready for it. It was just awesome. Like having a pitcher that had that much swag and belief in 100%. Not just herself, but everybody else that we were going to get it done. It was awesome.
Yes. I honestly wish she could speak to that, Keira, to the softball world. But, other thing that I showed is, Keira goes down as the only no-hitter in the history of a championship game, but I showed all the defensive plays, and there were a ton of defensive plays that were made for this no-hitter, which we all know it's a team effort, but you guys as a group, I mean, you all had each other's backs, and it wasn't just
everybody touched the ball. Like
that's crazy.
It's so funny. I feel like I was retelling the story the other day. Like I feel like I seriously blacked out during this game because I honestly don't remember that many ground balls or anything.
Oh, you have.
But when you go back and you watch, everybody touched the ball, but Keira was that type of pitcher. Was like, okay, like you guys are getting the ball today, so you better be ready. Like let's go. Like I just really, I mean, that's what makes this game so unique. Like. We all got to touch the ball, and you let us play. Thank you, Keira.
Exactly.
Because earlier
we jumped right on those coattails, Keira.
Exactly. And like earlier in the season, I remember looking at maybe Dre or Ramos in the outfield and being like, I haven't had a ball in 2 weeks. Like, I don't even need to go out there. But then, obviously at the end of the season here.
That's why we were out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Talking about the rivalry.
Oh, mommy.
At this point, there's a bit of a rivalry with Cal, right? We played them a couple of times, play them again in 04, the 02. Who can explain the rivalry that was with Cal best? Toria?
All right, on the spot.
Because you're highlighted.
Oh, got it. Okay. No, I think that like we kind of felt almost a rivalry with everybody. Like this, I think, is the year what it was like. Any little thing, we don't care how we win, we're beating everybody. And Cal was the team that was like kind of scrappy, and they were good, obviously, but we always thought we were better. But they would always do something that was like, "Whoa, get out of here!" It's like the nagging, like little sister or something, or little brother, right? But they did, and especially having to come back and beat them after the won. It's not like kind of that extra special moment.
Whose mic is that?
I think it was an airplane that flew over somebody's house or something.
Yeah, it sounded like an airplane.
Oh, that was me.
Kira, Mew, come on.
Sorry, I have the screen door open and it's.
Jeez.
Kaleo was scrappy. You had a bunch of scrappy lefties.
Yeah.
Remember one time she charged the mound a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had like
Chelsea Spencer.
Toria and Claire and Tasha going like this.
Tried, and we were like,
Not
no, you don't get to do that.
You want to fight me, you got to get through them first.
What game? Well, that wasn't this game. When did she charge them out?
That was during season.
During season, yeah.
Pac-10. Pac-10.
Pac-10. 10. That's right.
Yes! There you go.
Fell over.
Ryan, that's why you're my idol.
That D game, though.
Yes.
Yes,
Defense wins championships.
That's right, pup.
That was nice, T.
You know, I have a story about Keira as a teammate. Keira had this, what was the one that came at your hands, and if you hit it, you would shin yourself? What was that?
Flip drop.
Flip drop.
Oh.
For whatever reason, we were up at Easton Stadium, like all alone one day. Do you remember this, Keira? And I was having a hard time in the batter's box. And so she was like, let's go. I'm going to pitch to you. And I'm like, you can't do that. You're not allowed. You're probably on a pitch count. You're not even allowed to exercise on your own because you're like golden.
You're so valuable.
Yeah. But sure enough, she was like, no, let's go. Hurry. And probably in the back of her mind, she's like, she's not going to hit it anyway. It's fine. Put up a screen. She did not put up a screen with me. She was just out there pitching to the backstop with me and pitching these flip drops so that I could practice. And I just always remember that, you know, like that was Keira. And then in the weight room, I remember that year, you know, Keira, talk about how she was pushed outside of her comfort all the time. There she is with Coach Tracy trying to get on that jump box.
Oh my gosh.
Herself every single time. Oh, look at that. That's so fast.
Flying.
Because after one time,
That's so good, Mo. Yeah, Mo.
Right, I was there. Come on,
Yeah.
Blue stole my hit.
Ow, you look safe.
Look at her. I know. That's awesome.
I mean, that's pretty good, Mo.
Yeah.
Mo, look at that speed.
Drop that butt.
You were out, Mo.
You were out. At first, I thought you were safe.
Oh, you were out.
You guys are not. Did you see my foot?
100% out, Mo.
When you look at the glove, it's out. When you look at the foot, maybe you get different perspective.
But it was pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
You guys are wrong, I swear.
I think I probably needed to do some more running.
That flip drop was great.
Trey.
I chalked it up to if I would have lost 4 pounds in the season, I think I would have been safe. Just so you guys know. That's what I deal with. That's what I carry in my life.
Good
And
thing.
Puppy, you're coaching first base. You remember this game. What was it like? What was it like at first base with all these athletes?
Oh gosh, we were so well prepared for this.
So close.
And to be honest, we were preparing for the 4 years, and they were on a mission. These guys were on a mission, and like they all talked about earlier, they all believed in each other. They knew not one person, we're going to get this done as a team. And they really had a belief in each other. And Keira was, you know, she was the catalyst of that. She had a will. She has a will still, like no one I've ever met, no athlete I've ever seen. And she had a will, like we are going to get this done. And they were all right there. They were all right there with it. But when you go forward to when we score the run, It is so, I know we've talked about this in our bubble when we've watched this video. When we score the run and Ramos scores and then they flash to the dugout, they show the dugout. Tasha, watch Tasha. The relief, we did it. We're going to win this. She like almost collapses. It's not like, yeah, let's go. It's just like, oh my God, we did it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Because remember, they had so much of that media pressure. You're the only class in the history of UCLA softball to not win a championship, blah, 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 blah. You know, so you could physically see the relief when Ramos scores that run on Tasha in the dugout. It's great.
And, you know, it's funny because that morning before we left for the game, when we were getting ready and everything, I called the seniors and I just said, enjoy putting on that uniform one last time because we're going out there and we're playing for you. Like, we're going to win this thing for you. And, like, to me, it was pretty emotional because it's like, you know, this program has so much history and, you know, we want to continue. See, I could catch a pop-up. Look at that.
Claire, that's risky.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
But just to really enjoy putting it on because this is it. And, you know, to be able to go out and win your last college game, like, that's pretty amazing. Like, I mean, you know, not just your last game, but at the championship game of the World Series, you know, and for the senior class this year and then, you know, my senior year, it was pretty special.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of that because mine was, you know, freshman, sophomore year. Not that I'm ungrateful. But, you know, my junior, like I look back and my last memories, you know, weren't these awesome, amazing ones. So good for you guys.
Sorry, Zap.
Tasha, Mo, Toria, do you guys, so when I first came on, they're a year older than me. And I remember being in their apartments. And, you know, we went to UCLA. It's like, hey, we want to win a national championship. That was the thing we had grown up with in the program. And I can remember those three say, okay, when we get there, when we work hard and we win a national championship, this is how we're going to celebrate.
Oh, they would practice the celebration?
No, well, we were really serious. Like, you got to practice everything.
Yeah, like, we've got to work on it. Like, so here I'm
I remember.
And I go into their apartment, they're like, Keira was there too. They're like, when we win, who are you going to jump to? Like, who's the person, you know? And they would literally be like, hey, ready, go. And Mo would make us stand up and like celebrate when we win a national championship. Like, this is who I'm going to hug. And it was like a real thing.
Was real.
Tasha, Toria, you three were the ones. So you guys can talk about it.
Oh man, that started in our dorm rooms freshman year. We'd be out in the grass area, like practicing.
Oh my God.
We've been preparing for this moment for 3 years prior. So
I want to say, when we were practicing our senior year, pretending, it was like we were really in it. We were like, we would be crying in our living room potentially because we were like, we got to get this right, you guys.
We haven't practiced the celebration enough. That's why we haven't won yet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, we came in thinking and planning to win every single year, you know, and that really was the game plan. And I hope that doesn't sound, you know, anyway, but that was our plan. That's what we were working for. And so, man, every year to fall short and then have it come back on this fourth year, our senior year, with the added pressure of, if we don't win, we're going to break the streak for all of UCLA for what, how many years? 20 years or the existence? Yeah. So there was a lot, but still, you know, I think the team was in a spot where we were fighting instead of, you know, anything else. It was Keira, again, hitting that head on, you know, so nobody felt the pressure. I think we felt the pressure probably and let it out that first game. And then after that, I was like, okay, got it. Let's not do that. We cannot do that.
Let's talk about routine. So
yes, right here.
Here we go.
Woo, Momo.
Right here.
Go,
Good job,
Jay.
Jay.
Yeah.
Slide, Mo.
Adolf, yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
E.T.
That gives me the chills.
Best game ever.
I got the
Walk
chill.
us through that.
What I remember about that is Dre putting down that bunt and running back, going back to the dugout, and was like, "And let's go, Tosh! Like, let's go, let's get it." I mean, I feel like I got so pumped up in that moment, like a little freshman telling me, like, "Let's go," you know. I mean, like that's just like what this team was. It was like, no matter what, like we got a job to do, like we have a role. Like, I'll never forget that moment for sure.
Yeah. Tasha, you couldn't get your batting average over 500?
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna say that. That's insane.
Not my mom enough.
I just remember the start of that inning, though. I remember Toria striking out and her going back in and being like so just like devastated, and we were like, no, like we're still gonna do this. And then freaking Mo got the hit, and then it was just like snowball after that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right before that at bat, I had however many 3 at bats before. I had thrown away the ball that put that girl on second base and eventually scored. Thank you, you guys.
Don't even remember that.
Said, don't let her score or else this will be my fault. And you guys were like, yeah, no problem. And then I was like, cool, she scored. Yeah. But I went up to coach. She called timeout to like give me a pep talk for probably my last at bat. And I just went up and I didn't even let her talk, I don't think. I was just like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this. She keeps getting us to, swing it at balls. I'm just going to not swing at those. I'm going to swing at that one strike that's on the outside corner. I'm going to crowd the plate so that I can reach it and get the good part of my bat on it. Like I was so crazy crystal clear. I didn't say that part. But then I was like, if I get hit, I get hit, but I'm getting on base. And then I think I took that outside pitch and I pulled it like as far as I could.
Yeah, and it bounced like 5 times through the infield. It was awesome.
Hit it completely wrong, but for my time in the weight room, I think it paid me back.
Yeah, awesome story, Mel.
Nice. Because Sue was just like, okay.
I think we couldn't believe that I remember watching it, Tosh, we were like, are they pitching to Tasha? Like, the disbelief in the fact that you have, Bruins, best college softball player in the game at the time. Mm-hmm. And we're like, why would you? We'll take it. We're going to run with that. But wow, like, it was so unbelievable that Tasha was the one they were, that Tasha scored the tying run and it was her hit. We couldn't believe it.
Were you surprised that they threw to Tosh?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I went straight to talk to Caitlin. I'm like, they're going to go straight for you. Because, of course,
as they should,
they're going to walk. And then we were watching at the mound, and you could see Kat saying no. Like, she wanted to throw. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But the mannerisms, I turned and looked, and I'm like, oh, my God. She's saying she wants to throw to her. So literally, I remember, there wasn't a real big discussion with Caitlin, but I went straight to her because, of course, they're going to walk her. It's a no-brainer. And Kate, the freshman, you're going to have to step up, And Caitlin had been she was in that 2 spot for a reason. She was very clear, calm, simple hitter. But we also knew what Kat's strike pitch was, So that's the only thing is you got to attack that her strike pitch.
Outside, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the whole softball world, took a moment, especially because there was a timeout. Like a timeout to discuss it, and everything worked out. So Tasha killed it right off the bat, and I'll never forget Monique. I felt like she took 5 tons of dirt when she slid in there and just like slid and completely tagged the plate, and then she like pounded the ground. I'll never forget that. I could see Mo just literally, she grabbed home plate that was underground. It seemed like tagged it. And then literally Caitlin's at bat felt like was like right next. It was like
fast,
fast. All of a sudden, boom, Caitlin hit the ball. It was so fast. And here comes Tasha. She almost ran into the dugout. She went so wide around third.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my God. She went really, really wide and then came through, and I don't know how, like that's what we watch. Her epic Tasha fingers that she always said her fingers are too long. That's Tasha, I don't know how you slid like that. Talk to that, Tasha. How did you slide literally to the backstop and tag home plate?
Inspector Gadget.
softball gods. I don't even know. I again, a moment I blacked out. Like it's like all or nothing. Like do or die. Like we don't have any other chance. This is it. Like we got to go.
I love how you swung first pitch and like that.
Oh yeah.
That look on your face and you're at second. And then Caitlin, when you came to the plate, like, I mean, what do you got? What do you got? Runner, now it's tie game. What were you thinking?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I had struck out 3 times before this. So I was literally like, all right, well, it can't get any worse. So I knew I was just like choke up and just obviously just throw my bat out there. And at that point, it was almost like, please God, just hit my bat. Right? Like we said it all the time about Keira, like she would give up home runs because she would hit people's bats. Like I feel like that's like I didn't necessarily hit the ball. It was more that her pitch hit my bat.
Yeah.
But obviously with someone like Tosh on second, and like you said, we had played that way for the majority of the season. Like anything in the outfield, she's gonna score, right? And so it's like it's just like little tiny dribbler through the infield is gonna be perfect. So
for sure. Oh,
when Tasha came up to bat and I was on second base, the first pitch, she swung out of her cleats. And I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm like tightening up my shorts. I'm like checking my knee pads. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then sure enough, the next one I was like, woo. Go.
Oh, your dive into home, like you went hard. That dive.
Oh yeah, could not.
Into home.
We're lucky I didn't tackle the catcher.
I swear to God, that's what I did.
Well, they're not going to call instructions, so don't worry about it.
Right.
And then we can relive Toria breaking it down, and she was behind him.
Yes.
Toria didn't just celebrate; she like broke it down all the way to the ground. I mean, it was like
jimmied it down.
That one's like another relief of like. I had messed it up earlier for us in the World Series and you guys totally picked us up. And that was like the best thing about this team is freshmen to seniors, everybody contributed. And not just
well, and I think like for the seniors, you guys all had like really big moments too.
Yeah,
like Toria had like a big home run in the first Texas game. Like everybody did something like as seniors.
Riot's home run against Washington. Was that Washington?
Yeah.
I just remember you guys each had like highlights of like moving us forward. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, or like that's a good point, Dre. Like how Toria rebounded for not having the best game. I mean, she could have gone in the tank, and then of course, remember in the last inning, the game knows. I say this to the girls all the time. Of course, the ball smoked at Toria in that. Was it ninth in the ninth inning? Remember Toria? Like Scott came up and she. I remember the whole thing. I remember calling a change up and I looked at you and the ball was smoked at you. And then you had to catch it. And I was like, oh my God, of course. Do you remember? That's exactly how the game had to end. You had to make a play to win the game in a no-hitter in the championship. Yeah. And she smoked that ball and you came up with it. I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I love it. The game comes back around and you totally stepped up. Another thing that I like to talk to, not to get too coachy, but, this program is so special because we have such talent that is so willing to do whatever they can for the team. I mean, you have an Andrea Duran, who was an All-American, Olympian, professional player as a freshman starting in the outfield. Caitlin Bainey ended up leading the country in home runs and being an All-American in the outfield and whatever it took to help the team. There was no ego about this team and our program. They could be the big dogs, just the shortstops, anywhere else in the country, but willing to help this team, which is why UCLA softball is so great still today. We've got great athletes that commit to being able to do whatever it takes to win a championship. And you guys were the epitome of it, as you have such talent all over. We joke about it now that you guys were in the outfield, but you guys were just great athletes that solidified this program for this senior class. It was pretty epic. I'm proud of this group big time.
And not to even mention too, like our bench, like when you talk about just like role players, like Saki, Julie, Jensen, like literally like, everybody was just so bought in and like bought into their roles. Like that's what when I talk about championship teams, like this is the definition, epitome of a championship team, in my opinion.
Yep. I totally agree with you, Tosh. There is a, you could feel it. You could definitely feel when people are bought in. And there were so many hard times of frustration and I mean, a lot of frustration, and you guys got your butts kicked. Sue didn't let up on you, which I think was a big part of your standard and your toughness. So I think it all came in this 2003 moment, which led to the 2004 repeat, because then that group was way more experienced, way more. I mean, they enjoyed the ride. This was grueling. 2003,
Yeah.
woo.
Yeah.
It was an emotional ride the entire year. Do you guys remember we went to San Clemente and there was that, I still have that rock that everybody signed, and we got a rock at the beach and we wrote
whatever it takes.
Yeah, and then everybody signed it. It's totally on my desk still at Easton.
Aww.
Yeah. That
So
was
like
whatever it takes.
6-hour-long bonfire.
Yes. And we were in that, we don't even care. We'll do whatever it takes to win. Like, you know, it got to that point. But San Clemente, Mama E's.
That was a strike.
Mama E's house. Yep.
Yeah, so talk about Mama E and what the team bonding was this year in San Clemente.
Puppy, talk to that.
What?
Talk to Mama E. How we had bonding at Mama E's.
Oh yeah, every year we would, Mama E, Coach Sue's mom, for anyone who's listening that doesn't know, Mama E, she just loved the broom bubble. She loved all her Bruins, and every year we'd go down to San Clemente to her house, and we'd have a big, first of all, the food was amazing.
Yeah.
And she had this big open living room, dining room space, and all the sliding doors and overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful up on the hill in San Clemente, and she'd have all of us over, all the Bruins, the coaches, we'd have fun Bruin time. We'd go down for the beach for the bonfire, and we'd we'd have a ton of fun. We'd come back, we'd do a huge sleepover. And I remember the coaches and if there were beds available, the seniors would get the beds and the coaches. And everybody else was like in this big, huge living room with all the sleeping bags and blankets. And it's just so special. And so many Bruins have experienced that. It's forever.
Cookies, Mama E's cookies.
Oh, they were so good.
And what about that bean dip?
Yeah.
Everything. You know, I remember that year, this senior year for me, being in San Clemente, and we were at that beach getting that rock and doing that ritual, which, you know, was the theme throughout the rest of the year. It was like, we were up until that point, every one of us would do anything to win. And I remember talking about how it might not be doing any one thing. I think in this uniform at UCLA, I think we have to do everything, you know, and it was just like, we have to. It's the running, it's the class, it's the, you know, everything's connected. It's the getting the butt down and just committing. And I do feel like, you know, and you know, I'm from UCLA, the program, it's just such an honor, but I think what you take on when you're in the uniform is that legacy and that history of just such success, and you have to carry it. I think it makes it a little bit different. And I just remember in that senior, just like it all coming together and saying, we don't have the ability to pick one, to be good at one thing, but not the other, you know, right now. Like, it's all on the line. We must do all the things, you know, and I think that was the difference maker, hopefully, you know, from the rest of the years. It's just everybody bought into that, like, yep.
And what was the craziest thing that you had to do that year to win a World Series championship?
Oh, the hypotheticals or the actuals? The actuals was like all the running up Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Dre, was this a year we ate all those Lucky Charms?
All the cereal, no?
That was
cereal.
2004.
That was 04.
It's the hypothetical of what would you do for a championship, and to the rest of the world, I mean, this group would do a lot.
That's what I was actually just going to say. Like, on a funny note, like, we had to, like, we couldn't be loose in any area. We had to be in all reins, but we would, like, take it so far as to, like, away from the field, like, who's going to take out the trash? Well, if we don't take out the trash, we're not going to win a national championship. Like, dude, like, you got to clean up if you don't clean up your area, like, we're not winning. Like, everything was based on winning a national championship. Like, we lived our life, like, No, you're gonna no Mo. I'll take it out. Don't worry. I'll take out the trash. So that we
You don't eat all the cornbread at Soup Plantation. You're not gonna win national championship. You better.
Well, yeah, and then we would even do like something with like food would fall on the ground, and we'd be like, "Hey, if you eat that, we'll win a national championship." So then you're like, "I have to freaking eat it!" Like,
Yeah.
eat it.
It was
even
the ultimate
this, it'd
dare.
be like, if you don't hit this ball represents the national championship in Oklahoma City, and you're like, okay, I gotta get it. Like everything, like this ball represents our ticket to Oklahoma. So then, like, okay, it could literally be
No way that was a
No
strike.
way.
Not a
Sorry.
strike.
That was way
That
too
was a-
far inside people.
like literally,
Continue.
Puppy would take the ball and be like, if you can hit that pole across the parking lot. In the like we and
And it could ricochet.
we would like throw the ball at a pole, like they would do that.
And a lot of that had to do with Coach, I think, as well. Like she bought into that. Tell me some of your favorite stories in practice regarding Coach. Like I know we talked about gamer on the main or
On the main.
do at practice to prepare us for moments like this. Who's got a good Sue story?
I don't have a
When we
particular
were-
one.
Go
I
ahead,
don't have a
Ray.
particular one, but just like Gamer on the Main, when she would just yell that, and you could be anywhere on Easton Stadium. You could be out in the cage. You could be, and everybody would just stop and watch because Gamer on the Main was like, you had to get this done. So yeah, everything was on the line. And I think a couple times we celebrated like OKC championships during that time too. We practiced during that time, but I just always remember a Gamer on the Main, and everybody would just stop what they were doing, and we'd get to the main and watch. So, yeah.
And I think it's about just kind of like buying into really what she was saying. Like Dre said, she would say something, and everybody would just automatically, your ears are up.
To do in the cage, Sue, and this would be like at 7:00 at night. And she would do, it was around the world, around the Pac-10. And so she would be feeding the machine. And she would tell me like, okay, we're at University of Washington. You've got the band playing in the right field. You've got that guy who always shows up dressed like a soccer ball or blah, blah, blah. And we would just go through all the Pac-10 and just hit in the batting cage like that. It was hilarious.
Cool.
And sure enough, I'd be at UW, and there's that guy with the soccer ball head in right field.
Speaking of fans, talked about the Arizona fans playing in Arizona.
Brutal.
Was brutal.
Mariah,
Brutal.
hometown girl.
Oh yeah.
I can remember my freshman year being in the cage with Coach. We're on the tee. We're working on something before the game. And the frat house across the street, there's this guy yelling at me. And he's like, Toria, it's me, Taco. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't look. Like, Coach is gonna be so mad. They were wild there. They got so into it.
They would yell at Sue, Coach, get a new hairdo. Brutal. They were
I remember
Kelly,
oh
right?
man.
Kelly, right? They were brutal to their own kids.
They
too.
they were brutal to their own kids. If they didn't perform, they would get on them. So Arizona, they were loyal to the game, not necessarily to you.
Yeah.
They had high expectations on what should happen in the game, and they didn't care what uniform you're in. But they were very vocal, and like I said, if Sue called timeout at all, oh my God, they would start yelling
on her.
Supposed to practice that at practice. Sit down, Coach. That's not your kid. I mean, like yelling at the top of the.
Yeah.
And then they'd always put our parents like out in BFE, right? Because they wouldn't let you guys sit with everyone else. I mean, I say it's a respectful rivalry, even though it's kind of crazy and chaotic out there. But the fans, I mean, you got to love it because they create the atmosphere. And I think I made the mistake of, I'm not really all over social media a lot, but I think I tweeted a couple years ago, I don't know how long ago, but we swept Arizona there. And I tweeted out, like, there's nothing like silence on the road in Tucson, you know? And
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Those were bad words. I got some Tucson came at me, and
Oh my gosh.
and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that, that's a big part of it. And then I responded back. I didn't mean to, it wasn't like a jab. It was literally, it is. We as Bruins like live for those moments of playing in Tucson and being able to beat them in their house. It's a great moment, but I'll never forget, this is a way back puppy. Do you remember, with
here she's taking.
But wait, time out.
Taking Veronica out.
Bottom of the seventh.
Here it is.
Veronica Nelson leads off, and we intentionally walk her. We stick into the plan.
Bottom of the seventh, nobody out. You
take her
walk
out.
the lead
Seventh,
off batter.
championship
On
game.
purpose.
Think about
Who
that.
walks the lead off?
Right, on purpose.
Bottom of
Loves her defense.
And them taking her out is like, okay, we're gonna win this. Right?
Right.
They committed to it.
Yeah.
Good
In
for
the
them.
bottom of the seventh, you're walking the lead off?
That's gutsy.
Because we have
Baller,
Keira Goerl.
KD.
and we never flinched. Like, that's
And
our
they'd already run for her, correct? So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. She's out.
She's out. Yeah.
There we go.
Zab, you're so good.
Nice job, Zach.
Looking back on that now, though, I really feel like I should have caught that.
Look, you're so mad.
I am. I half fell on my side. Like I
Did you
didn't
trip?
really
Did you
dive.
trip?
I think so.
that.
I'm gonna blame it on that. Like I should have actually
And then on
really-
top
You
of
had the composure to get up and still throw her
Yeah,
out. Like
exactly.
walking Veronica led to Haley Woods, who was their top hitter, have to sacrifice bunt to move her over to second. So Haley was their hitter, remember?
Yeah.
And look at her. That was her. That was her potentially her last at bat. So she thought.
Yeah.
Let's go, KG.
She was a senior.
No. She was
she's a freshman.
freshman.
Oh, she's the same as you guys.
Yeah.
Who was the senior? Courtney.
Courtney.
Courtney, Kristen Morley, the senior that year.
what are you guys talking
What did
about?
I do, Kelly? Gosh,
What are you
you're
guys
mad
talking
at
about? What are you
me.
guys talking about?
No, we were just talking about the plan with Kaleo, guys.
Talking about Crazy
Chill.
Kaleo. That's what we were talking about because she's the most.
What? You weren't even in on the meeting, Keira.
I know, but I can read your mind.
It's a need to know. It was a need to know basis.
We were so in cahoots that day, the three of us. We were so on the same page. It was easy. Look at Kaleo. She's crazy. She was a feisty hitter.
Yeah.
Great competitor.
Good competitor for sure.
Is this the strikeout, Keira?
No.
This was like one of my favorites. Is it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I think so.
I think it is.
But I loved competing against her because she was just a crazy competitor. It's like,
But she was like fishing out, and you bust her in. I was like,
yes.
Well, her frustration for Keira too was like, kind of made it even sweeter, honestly.
For sure. It's just like Keira, remember we went outside with Haley Woods after we were avoiding that the whole time?
Yeah.
Yes. Like I tell that story forever too. Like the oppo that we had to do because we played him so many times.
She was sitting on that outside pitch.
Yes, she was. But it totally set up and that was perfectly placed, knowing that to be able to set it up.
She's falling over the plate. Falling over.
Kelly, you're calling this game, right?
Yeah.
You're calling this game.
Oh yeah. It was so fun.
Oh, Zap. She's calling it for you?
Going in. That was busting.
No, Zap called the game. I just, as you saw, she came over just to chat. She was calling it. I was just reinforcing.
Okay, that's what I thought. God.
Ah!
Change it.
What was that?
I was gonna say, Keira, that's kind of fat pitch right there.
I thought the same thing. It's like, whoa.
57 to 50.
Well, 'cause
See that? 50 miles an hour.
Leaning? Come on, the lean.
Oh, that was a change up?
50 miles per hour. Look at you, cookie,
Yeah, from
okay?
like high 60s to 50. That was legit.
Man.
Then
Ready for it.
There you go.
Falling across the
Kaleo.
plate.
She is feisty, huh?
She's having that bat.
great competitor. Loved it.
She always had good at bats.
Oh, hello, Zap.
What?
Oh,
Okay, there we go. Number 5, first responder.
Yeah,
Alyssa.
Let's, yeah, she has 2 babies.
Are you guys in touch with her?
On through social
ready?
media.
Social media.
On social media, she's got 2
Didn't get that one in enough.
Yeah, Keira, that was like after transitioning 100 bazillion balls away, that was the first transition over, which, you know what I mean? That set up for you to go for it. Like, that was a tough pitch because you had to go away, and then you finally turned it over. Hadn't done that. And like almost the whole game. So that's why this at-bat, like Tasha said, ended up being epic because then you came up with it. Hi, Allie Chislock.
Allie
Yeah,
Chislock.
Allie. Woo, she's feeling it too.
Anybody else feel stressed watching this game now?
A little bit. My palms are sweaty.
Like,
Toria.
Jen, she's stressing. Look at her stress. Oh, Jen.
Who would want to be the mom of a pitcher? No.
I don't know. You're never going to pitch.
Here.
Oh,
God. Oh, man, this is she saw a lot of pitches, too.
Yeah, this is a good one. 69 miles an hour and a 50 mile an hour.
Damn.
19 miles difference. Holy cow, Keira.
That's unfair.
Woo, let's go, KG.
Wait, what is this, the top or this is top of 7, right?
Bottom.
Bottom. Oh my gosh.
Come on, Monique. Come on.
Oh my gosh, another.
Does it show that somewhere?
Like a 10 pitch count? Like,
yeah.
Maybe this isn't the
Zap. Call it Zap.
Kira can tell you. Scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard.
Cal's the whole team.
They look stressed out too.
Stressed.
Let's just be clear, Claire. They're stressed too.
I feel like we don't see a lot of like 1-run games anymore in the World Series.
Here it is.
Oh, man!
Oh,
that is my favorite.
Ooh.
Ah,
that was wicked.
Oh, Keira,
that was dirty.
That was just
Why
wrong.
would you do that, Keira?
Wrong, girl.
Zap, look at Zap.
So again,
Oh.
Like right
right there. Good job,
That was a strike, Kalea. I'm
Keira,
sorry.
that was a legit.
Yeah, that was a strike.
Does it make you want to play?
Look at Ramos' mom and dad.
This is mom. She fist pumped.
Yeah.
Almost his mom with the fist pump.
She was expecting outside pitch?
That's what she was waiting for.
Yeah.
Oof, that's brutal. Keira, how
That
dare
was
you?
dirty.
Keira, that was so
Like,
epic.
get in there already. Stop telling time out.
I feel like they did that on purpose for a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, they were. They were. And then I said, oh, you could play that game.
Yeah, I think they did that for a little bit.
And then Keira stepped to the rubber and then stepped off with like a little like whatever. Yes, I totally remember that.
This is my game pace.
So Cal had a chance to win it here. It's bottom of the 7th, 2 outs.
Yeah.
We're on second with 1 out and 2 outs.
Yes.
And on defense, you're
And
just
we
like,
walked the lead
nothing
off
drops.
hitter intentionally.
Nothing
Yes.
drops.
We did this to
Nothing
ourselves.
gets through.
We buy in. We buy in.
And Chelsea
Love that.
Spencer's up. Now she's the head coach now at Cal. Just named her.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Congrats. That's great. Did they get a new stadium?
I
Not
think they're
yet.
going to be building one.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Works.
Is that Rose?
There's
Right.
Dr.
Lizzie
Mom.
Patty.
I saw Rose.
Rosie. Look at that face. I'm gonna mow you down, she says.
I'm gonna mow you down.
So Kelly and Pup, like, obviously now our game is different and it's very stat heavy, you know, in regards to situational stats. And did you guys in this moment have that on you, or was it just like instinct, we're going to go with what we know? Like, did you have the solid concrete numbers in front of you?
Are you talking coaching wise on?
Yeah, coaching wise in that moment, like knowing if we walk the hitter, you know.
They're hitters?
Like spray charts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Spray charts, situational numbers, percentages.
Oh, Tasha.
Yeah.
Nice
I
Josh.
Oh,
That's
that was
the level that
close.
I have now.
was really
Defense
close.
wins championships.
Look at now she knows she's out of the game. She's done.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
I felt like I'm going to answer that question just slightly for Kelly. I felt like Kelly always had the spray charts or something of the
She had
charting
charts.
with her all the time.
Her clipboard all
Yeah.
the time.
Kelly had the information. You can count on that for sure.
Well, I think that this level, to answer your question, Clara, the stats and the spray charts that are available now in the game, where you have another company who's generating it for everybody in the country and you can buy it.
Look,
Not so much. Oh, can we just watch this?
yeah!
Yeah.
Soraya.
Right, shimmy.
Caitlin jumping around. That's the best part of it.
Caitlin, Skippy.
Yeah,
Tasha, literally, when anyone asks me what the best UCLA memory is, this 2003 memory by far in the history of UCLA. I mean, that come from behind against Texas goes down as the best moment that
Has to, yeah.
Best.
Oh, she made a good play.
Close too.
Hey, good hit.
Stupid Spencer.
You definitely can't say
Sorry,
that.
Chelsea. You know if you're watching.
There's an
Yeah,
edit.
I feel like your arm was getting rubbed out this whole tournament.
Yeah.
Like our masseuse with it, like the whole time she was just holding her forearm out.
Are you talking about Keira?
Yes.
You know what's so funny, Claire, is I was telling Megan Faremo the story about how Keira, you know, how she went through, and they're built the same. Or you should see the forearm. Keira's forearm is massive, and so is Megan's. Like they're built the same, and they're very similar in their upper body strength. So I was telling her about that, and literally traveled a masseuse to Palm Springs to do exactly what Keira did. They just sat in the dugout with her elbow on the Gatorade thing, right? And then remember, Keira, he would just bless you and I was telling her how you could wake up the next day after throwing. They think they have it down. You threw like 590 pitches or something in the World Series, and you wake up and I check in on you. I'm like, "How you doing?" And you're like, literally, you know, how did you feel after you were rubbed out, after your massages and all that? How did you feel after throwing 500 something pitches? Of course, you had parts of your body that were sore, but it was all about the forearm, right?
Yeah. I think at that point, it's all adrenaline and mental. Like, I'm going to get through this no matter what. Doesn't matter if I'm sore. Doesn't matter. Like, you don't think about that at this point. Like, whatever it is, I'm leaving it all on the field because you're not taking me out.
Keira had experience, though, from like 14 years old. I mean, she was on every travel ball team, and then you got pulled up to play women's majors. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then you came in with your travel ball team. So you've been in this heat and pressure your whole career. I mean,
I was throwing 300 pitches a day from when I was 8 years old. I mean, Glenn didn't give me many days off.
Glenn
in the tube socks catching you.
Yeah, you know it.
And then, total side note, you see Sue's coaching shirts? Those were straight from Robinson's May. We would go get these little
Robinson's May. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Them Adidas-fied, where I put the Adidas logo, because we would just get them a scripted UCLA softball, and then we got in trouble for being on TV because they weren't Adidas. So then we had them Adidas-fied, where I'm like, well, we got to go. Coach likes these Robinson's May shirts, so I got to get them. And you can put the Adidas on them, but this is what we wear. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got to tell everybody what that is, because there's people out there that have no idea.
Oh, it's like
idea what Robinson's made.
Like
a Macy's, right?
It's like a Macy's, yeah. Like in the older section.
Older section?
No, petite. Definitely petite.
I'd get so fired up, and there would be blue ones in there. I'd go in there and look, and there'd be blue, and there'd be stripes. I was like, oh my God, they were meant to be our coaching.
We're gonna win a national championship.
Did you buy those in OKC or before?
Yeah.
I bought them, but we bought them before. But it's just funny to see how far we've come, because back in the day, it was funny because Sue fought everything. Oh, look at mommy.
Sorry. Saki, look at that alum.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Bruin bubble for half an inning. Let's talk about this alum. Mo, talk about the Bruin bubble.
Wait,
oh my gosh. Well, I mean, just to be a part of the program is it's, you know, the dream of a lifetime for all of us. And so you get to play there. And then I think the unintended, or I guess unexpected reward is also getting a part of the history of every single, you know, amazing player that went there. They stay around, they're in the bubble, you know, it's a family, just a family environment. So it's you're in the locker room with the Lisa Fernandez and the Lisa Longacres and the Puppies and the Kellys, and, you know, all of these people that have been winning championships or being at that stage, you know, for years and years and years. And so it's unbelievable. This was the first year that I can remember. There's always been alums in the World Series, but this was the first one where it was like I don't know, it was just a thing. So it was Karen Hoshizaki from the 99, Marin N, Karen, and Chrissy Buck from the 99 championship team. They went. Was Lorraine there?
Yeah, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. She talked to us.
In the palace.
After our first loss, she talked to us, got us straight.
Yep.
There you go, Claire. Move them over. Oh.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Not
Gonna go, Claire.
No. And you know what the funny thing is, like when we're in World Series, at the World Series, there's always like little alums too. There's always the Jen Brundage from Michigan wearing a different uniform, but still like, we're like, we know you. We know you, Bruin. You know, and I don't know. I mean, and then in the years after this, oh my gosh, like how many of us, I was there in 2010 when they won, and there was like 15 of us, you know, and then just this last one in 2019, another one, that whole little first bleachers are just filled with alum. And
people came early and went home and came back. It was the girls were overwhelmed with emotion. They're like, Coach, they were here and went home and they're back. Like, are you serious? You know, and then, you know, what was kind of cool, speaking to the Bruin bubble, is one of our very successful alums, very big supporter of the program, said, you know, if anybody wants to go to the World Series, then I will take care of them. If they can't figure out a way to get there, I will take care of them. No Bruin will not go because they can't afford to go. So there's a great deal of support on making sure that Bruin bubble is there. And it was fun. And then for the first time, you guys, there's Tosh.
There we go, Tosh.
For the first time in the history.
Yeah, Tosh had like 5 ground balls.
Yeah, at least.
So smooth.
Remember, get out of the way, man.
You had a lot, Tasha.
I don't remember any of them. Like, it's like Keira threw a no-hitter, so it's like nothing got in play. Like, I just don't remember.
Yeah, that's why I showed all the plays, because you guys all were part of history in making that no-hitter with all the plays you made. It was crazy. What was that girl? What was her name right there, you guys? Number 10?
Erica Corley.
Erica Corley?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't remember Erica. Wait.
We picked her up as a runner. She like wasn't.
There you go, Keira. 663 pitches.
Gee,
that's it. Wow.
Anderson had a lot too.
Dang, she pitched a lot too.
So for the entire postseason, Keira, you were like at 900 something. Like regionals and this.
Tony always asks me, "Were you on a pitch count?" I'm like, "A pitch count? What's that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's no such thing as a pitch count in softball.
Not at this stage.
You had your own pitch count sometimes where you're like, in this game at the last time we went out there, you're like, guys, I'm not pitching after this. So
I don't want to pitch anymore.
You guys need to get me a run because I'm done.
Yeah, she was going to refuse.
Keira's not going to pitch anymore, so we have to get her a run.
Keira, was this the game where, like, in the 6th inning, you're like, I am thirsty. Meanwhile, it's 90 degrees, and she's like, I want a Coke.
Yes.
And literally, everyone in the dugout drops everything, and we're like, get the Coke!
Get her what she wants.
Oh my God, I remember that, Kate. Completely.
You know what? My mom snuck one down to the dugout for me because.
And he did.
Yeah, I think we were yelling up. I think Nate, the trainer, was yelling up there, Jenny, she needs a Coke. She needs a Coke.
It gave me the sugar that I needed to, like, you know.
We were talking about that, speaking of Nathan and Stevie, our man. Those boys were all in. They were.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
They were like first ones in the dog pile, I feel like.
Yeah.
100%, Toria.
They're yelling and they're all in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom of the dog pile.
I was at the bottom and that hurt, let me tell you. I didn't know my body bent those ways. It was.
If you would have ran to me first, I would have protected you with all my gear. But
KG, Jenny.
Epic fail, right?
Mama.
Epic fail.
You weren't in the practice, Zach.
Yeah, Tosh.
I didn't practice in the living room of celebration, so Keira only practiced running to Claire.
I know. But in 2004, I totally redeemed myself.
Yeah, she went to you.
That's true.
I did.
It's because I didn't let her live it down for a year.
Great story.
You still don't let her live it down. You still give her crap about it.
Kelly said, you didn't go to your catcher?
It's like the One of the most unwritten rules in baseball, softball.
Yep.
Well, you know what's funny is when we did win and everyone was watching Ramos like run into that fly ball. God, it felt like she caught a brick out there. But
oh my God,
Kira.
Keira.
That's Keira. Oh.
No, I don't remember this at
I
all.
don't remember that either.
Why didn't I
Gosh.
remember that either? That didn't really happen.
Exciting.
It didn't really happen, guys.
I don't remember that at all.
It's all happened a long time ago.
She put her and said, we're good. We're good. Here we go.
Look how she's just like, we're good. Here we go. Here we go. Look at her demeanor. Look.
Totally.
But no big deal, she says.
Yes.
But look at that backhand.
Yeah, that is legit.
Oh, I should have got that.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
It kind of.
Claire, I'm gonna put that air on you.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
on
was
you,
your fault,
Claire.
That's
Your
your
glove
air.
is supposed to catch it, Claire.
Oh my God, I don't remember
That ball
this.
that pleased me right into the runner, guys. Thanks.
I don't remember that.
Right into the runner. Make sure I catch that for you, Keira.
Oh my God, she's
That was
stepping.
Vicky Galindo.
Oh, yeah.
You could have taken her.
Look how far she's stepping out of the box. Can you stand the
James.
box, Lindsay James?
Lindsay James. That's a familiar name.
Great.
Oh, your poor mama.
Look at her. Look how far out of the box she is.
She's way out of the box.
Hey, Zap, you're supposed to tell the umpire. when
Come
the-
on, Blue.
Come on now.
That's what you doing
What
back
do you got?
That's Zap.
Come on, Blue.
Look at those connection bats, man.
Right? Connection.
I was trying to figure out what bat that was.
Oh, Jenny.
Claire was so strong, the thing would like flex like crazy and like trampoline way off.
It's like bent in half.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when we had to work on our leads and they would set up the pitching machine pointed to the base runner and just like throw bullets at the runners and they'd have to like get on the right side of the ball? Oh, you
Like,
got it?
who thinks of these drills? Like, where? How?
The same person who hits ground balls at me from the pitching mound with her bat. Same
Yeah.
person.
That makes that wear shackles on her neck.
All right, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
That too.
The back-to-back natty.
Remember when maybe some of the hits would go crazy and it'd like ricochet off the dugout and it's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's happening right now.
So
Guys, her feet are killing me. She's stepping over the plate.
She's just diving.
I'm pretty sure I've said something by this point to the Blue.
How are we not?
There were no rules back then. Come
I
on.
think she's guessing out. I think she's guessing out, guys.
100%. Can we like bust her in? Like, what game are you watching?
Only miss pitching.
I'm pretty sure I'm looking at you for a signal, so.
100%.
You're gonna hit her.
I'm talking about me, Zap. How have I not seen that she's running into the third base dugout?
Look at Vicky Galindo. She's like, it's gonna go outside.
Well, I can tell you. Don't
It's going out.
Going out.
She's giving
Nice.
the universal sign for this is outside.
Yeah.
Your mom.
Again.
Oh my
Kelly,
God.
she's stepping on the plate, Kelly.
Yes, bust her in. Let's go.
Do you guys remember the conversation when I was like, Keira, we're going to throw so-and-so inside in front of all you guys? And she goes, no, I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not. And I'm like, nope. Keira, we're going to pitch. She's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, okay, everybody, video session over. Everyone, I'll see you at the bus. And Kira's like, I am not throwing inside. I am not throwing inside. I was like, oh my God, here we go.
It has to be coming, right?
I mean,
it has to be this pitch.
Inside, I swear it's coming in. Come on.
Inside, she's gonna.
yeah, that was
the one.
Oh, yeah.
The inside.
But how awesome.
Yeah,
She
good
kinda
for
throws
you.
it away and then
You did it.
gets
You
Like
back.
a cat off that mound, guys.
Yes.
Okay,
Seriously.
here
All
comes
those
the good
touchdowns,
stuff.
Keira.
Position, Keira, until now. Never knew. It's crazy.
Gosh.
Hey.
Papa Watley.
Glenn.
He's looking
Glenn.
Glenn. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
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 hey, hey.
Hey.
So we got
He wore
Ron.
the same shirt. He wore the same shirt and didn't wash it.
Come on.
It's not superstition. That man.
Yeah, I think Ramos leads us off.
Ramos is leading us off, right?
Ramos. Yep.
Here we go, Ramos.
Here comes the good stuff. Please watch Tasha when we score in the dugout. Oh, it's epic.
And Ramos is in center during this game.
Yeah.
Yes. So good.
Ramos, outfielder, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that hit.
Burned them. They were playing so shallow.
Yeah.
Burned them.
She really hustles it into second.
You guys,
Nice.
did you guys know that she called her shot on that? Like I was like, "What's your focal point?" And she said the Arizona banner, and she hit it.
Oh my God.
Arizona banner.
Beautiful.
It was. Look at she literally pointed
Oh,
like
I love
I told
her.
you. Can you picture Ramos? I told you.
Yeah.
Told you.
Wow, she was
Nice, Ramos. She has such a good swing.
Yeah.
Yes, Drea.
So
She was so clutch.
pretty.
She didn't finish that swing. She
No.
did a half swing.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
That's not synergy for you.
Yeah.
Yes. That
And she
away.
was on that one.
Who's that?
Got Zap coming up.
Yeah, I think I do something productive here. I think.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
definitely.
I think Caitlin and Zap started like the fist pumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because Zach got that bunt down in the one game, and she's running down going like this.
Yeah. This one. It's this one before she even gets there.
There you
This one.
go.
Was it this one?
Yeah.
This is it.
One of them. She did.
Yeah, this one.
Let's go, Zach.
Let's go, Zap.
Zap.
It's the little things you got to do, right,
It,
guys?
it's the little things.
Yep.
Mhm.
Coach's sign.
Bunt.
Remember how fast she would go with her signs?
Yeah.
Then she would
I
slow
never
down. She'd
knew
be
what
like,
I never knew what the hitting signs were. Still to this day.
That's awesome.
They were
That was
not-
pretty close. That
nice.
was pretty
Pretty
close to
simple.
strike.
It was kind of
Zap, what are you waiting for? Do a job.
Yeah, that looks pretty close. I got lucky on that one.
She would
Yeah.
go extra
The
fast when
first
it was like a
ball?
stressful situation too.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't think I could handle the numbers. That would give me anxiety.
I know, right? I don't know how you guys do the cards of signs.
It's so easy.
I would hate that, man. You
No.
get
I would
that
too.
tan line on your arm.
Why was I swinging?
You got the green light. 2-0.
Did I miss the sign?
green light.
Hope not.
Like, that's it. Here's the ball sign again.
And then now
2-0.
coach is like, okay, now you're bunting. Now you're bunting.
We gave you one.
You broke your hips.
Your whole pass on one.
There's Lorraine.
You need your collar.
Training.
You need your collar.
No.
What's up?
Yeah, fist bump.
Yes.
Good, Zapper.
I did that fist pump, halfway down.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Coach Tracy. No, that was
Was that there?
no.
I wonder if they
Paula.
know this is it. Look at Galindo. Jeez. You
Mm.
couldn't slap it, but Zap?
Can you slap it?
Who said that?
No, coach would kill her.
That's the ultimate disrespect when they just like crash at you.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
well done,
just-
well done, well done.
You can stand right next to me. I'm still gonna just bunt it.
Wasn't it super long at that?
And she crashed so hard there was no way she was getting the lead runner.
Yeah.
Toria.
Come on, Toria.
Go, Toria.
Like you said, all 4 seniors contributed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Here we go, Toria. Perfect chair. You got to have the perfect chair when you're trying to win a game, everybody.
Wasn't this a long at bat?
It's all about practice.
Yeah, she fouled a few off.
And when she gets to first two, she's like, whatever it takes, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, I remember that.
What? There, Tasha. Tasha. Here we go.
Please, softball gods, let's just do this.
Oh,
Marin.
lucky.
Yes.
This was the year, we were talking about this the other day. That's the year that Marin was there in the stands and she was supposed to be at home sick.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then her boss sees her on TV. KC.
She came back with her voice gone, and she was like, "Well, kind of was sick."
That was really funny.
Yes, Toria.
Did her boss say anything to her? Like she didn't get fired or anything?
Oh, my dad.
Right in the hand.
Grandma.
Yes.
Oh, Haley
Right in the
Woods.
hand.
Poor Haley Woods.
This is the one that Toria hits it between short and third, right?
This
I
one?
remember.
Don't ruin it for us, Zap.
Well,
Jeez, Zap.
I remember years later, Chelsea talking about how like her and Vicky would like practice that and like never let it happen again. Cause like, didn't it go off somebody's glove or something?
Yeah.
What about Vicky's?
Lindo's glove.
Have you never
Yeah.
made a movie? You're giving up. You're
No,
giving
I have
up.
never. Thanks.
Oh, we're in production here.
Oh,
See that?
Well,
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Where's Taj?
Tasha,
Yeah, where's
Reed,
Tasha?
Tasha.
whatever it takes.
We did it. Not yet.
Oh,
look at Ramos. She's so
Rama's so cute.
So happy.
That's so awesome that she
Yes.
said that.
Man,
Where's Taj?
wow.
So fun.
yeah, so Zap, you talked to Chelsea about this, Chelsea and Vicky.
Oh,
Yeah, they would say how like they would like practice that exact play and be like, make sure that would never happen again.
Although I think Ramos would have scored anyways.
I know, like Chelsea even got it. She'd be so deep in the hole.
Yeah, she was deep.
Watch Tasha. Watch. Here it comes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Tasha, what are you feeling right now after you saw that?
Like, I feel the same thing, relief. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just this game was so grueling. Like, I mean, and it was like a pitcher's duel for sure.
Girl, me too, girl.
For years of this.
Oh,
All I ever asked for was one run.
Puppy,
That's all I
look at
ever
Puppy.
asked for. Just give me one run.
good job, puppy.
Yes,
That was
puppy.
good, Mo.
Pup really got in there.
I don't remember that. Mo, that was a nice piece.
Yeah.
Man, it was finally on it.
Isn't it weird how once you score and all of a sudden it becomes a whole different?
God, Mo, that was a shot.
You tell him, puppy, she's saying.
Umpire trying to call her
You
out.
said, look at the ball.
Yeah. Good job, puppy.
Thanks, guys.
That was always the best when you got to first base and puppy.
I think
Yeah.
I struck out.
Oh yeah, you get bruises. Ooh.
Pat.
It's your
That's
bruin
how-
heart.
gentle puppy, gentle.
Bruin heart.
Get your beating at first base.
The hardest I ever hit.
I liked it.
The dad one time, she crushed a home run at Oregon. I almost knocked her over. And I was like, oh my God, that's when I like.
Oh, that wasn't a strike.
You call it a strike?
Yeah. I think I strike out anyway. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
We got the one we needed.
Was Veronica Nelson due up in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. And we were like, she's out,
Oh my God. Amazing.
isn't it?
Yes.
Look at Dre.
Imagine
Baby.
never getting it at bat.
Oh, Dre.
There you go, Dre. Good eye. 61 miles an hour.
I remember going with Sue to the Bat Busters practice to see this girl we were recruiting. And Gary Hanning comes up to us and he goes, no, she's not the one you want. You want this girl, Andrea Duran. You got to watch her. I just picked her up. And we watched her that day and we're like, oh yeah, he's right. That's how we saw Dre at that practice. And we went there to see someone else.
Wow.
Christy Durant.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary Hanning.
Yes, thank you,
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Gary.
Gary.
Ooh, Dre.
Walk, Dre.
Dre.
Job, Dre.
Good job.
You don't remember that you walked, Dre? You thought you struck?
I don't remember anything.
Move the line.
I just remember winning.
Yeah, that's all I remember is the game against Cat and winning.
You guys, is winning the championship the highlight of your life, like it is mine?
Well, you have 2 kids. That's messed up.
Marriage, kids, you know.
Got married, yeah.
It's fine.
I mean,
Just
I love
kidding.
that.
Just kidding.
Sports highlight of your life.
I would have had them
Okay,
anyways.
Weston, it's
I would
okay.
have had them anyways.
There you go.
I would have had them anyways.
Saki's going in to run.
Yeah, suck
Yeah.
it.
They suck.
Why'd you guys switch helmets?
Toria was wearing my helmet. I need my
She
helmet
said,
back.
"Give me my helmet."
Yeah,
I
Saki.
need to hit, girl.
Did she do it on accident or was that like planned?
No, she always would wear mine, I guess. I don't remember why.
You let her do that? That doesn't sound like you.
Sounds like she has 400 up downs.
9 innings, Keira, still looking good.
Yeah.
She just got that.
Hair's looking
Coca-Cola.
good.
Good.
Well, I don't remember. Obviously, we don't score, but what happens?
Here we go, Tasha. Here we go. I thought you were gonna hit a home run.
Ah! Oh!
Oh, yes, Saki.
They knew they weren't going to get you at first. Hit that.
Right.
True.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's close this up. Let's go.
Let's go.
Defense wins it.
Hey, Tasha, those defensive plays
Let's go.
were 3 hits. So really, you're 3 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I'm with you on that.
Seriously. She had a triple.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
4 for 4.
bottom of 9, up 1-0. Ramos. She almost hit that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Rapper with that bunt.
Oh,
Toria. Nice.
That's so great.
Simpson.
Oh my God.
Courtney Scott was what, their 3-hitter? Was she their 3-hitter, Tara?
Yeah.
So
4.
So it says that should have been
3,
Ronnie.
4, 5. 3, 4, 5 up.
Yeah, but this is the
Oh,
try.
Veronica. Veronica was 4. Yeah, 3, 4.
On deck. She would have been on deck.
And Courtney here was a hitter.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She almost hit one out earlier.
Yeah.
Got a good piece. Remember, she would catch with an infield glove and not a catcher.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that was hardcore.
Like a 13-inch,
That
right?
pitch is just dirty still.
13-inch.
I always found it weird that they had her at 4. I mean, I was thinking that she was, I always in my head thought she'd be at 3, Veronica Nelson, for some reason. Just to
They
be at
they moved her around. I remember they had her lead off at one point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should
She
have
was
had her
leading
at
off
leadoff.
hard on that.
Yeah, just because people would throw to her.
Ooh.
Oh, Kira.
What?
Courtney Scott though, she had a year. She did well for them.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
really
she
good.
did.
She's a senior, correct?
She's a senior. That's what it was. One of them. Wait, wasn't Courtney where did Courtney play?
Etcher.
Catcher.
Extra.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Damn.
See, get the pads on.
Yeah.
That was a
Good thing Trace was there.
Exactly.
You have
Good
2
old
braids.
Trace.
2 braids in.
Come back. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a major test, Toria. That ball was smoked. Oh
That's
my
right. You're so good, man.
She knocked it down and then came up and threw a strike. I was like, oh, it's over. Then this girl comes who Veronica Nelson was supposed to be hitting. So this is this girl's first at bat.
Yeah.
Didn't she only have like 2 at bats the entire
Whole
season?
year.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
Right.
Whew. This is like in between pitches, you're like, oh my God, I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. And then in the pitch, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm ready. Be ready. Every single pitch. It's an emotional roller coaster. I love it.
True. Every single pitch.
Nice pitch,
Oh,
Kira.
That pitch.
Yeah.
Keira Goerl.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you heard some trends, Kira.
That was like my least favorite pitch to catch.
Do you used to say
No,
like
your
you
poor
would stir
thumb.
the pot?
Oh.
You would stir the pot.
For the video, your dad dropped.
Yeah.
No, that didn't drop. It just curved.
Strong curve, Kira.
How many more? He said, you got to do 100. And then later on in the video, she's like, how many more do I have? He's like, 100. And she's like, oh,
already.
so fair. Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
You gotta send us this video.
Oh, Kelly, where is that disc? Oh, my
So priceless, that video. And
That
then there's
was
a squirrel
best
that
thing.
pops in. And
Tasha,
So
Tasha,
smooth.
that's
Nice,
worth
Tosh.
three.
That was a crazy top spin ball, Tasha.
Yeah.
And out, hit it to Tasha.
And that defense, you guys. Ooh, this is a clinic on defense
Yes.
and pitching. This is special.
This is 2 outs now. 2 down. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is when it starts to set in.
Yeah, but I saw that Keira left you hanging, so I went straight to you afterwards. I saw that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Keira did not just do that. She didn't go.
Somebody come towards me. Somebody.
Nobody gave me that protocol.
No
Okay.
one's coming. No one's coming this time.
I think me and Saki were the first tag somehow.
Oh yeah, a strike. When he gives you that,
Keira do the hop when she hits it. Keira like hops. Like, woo, that's not out.
You know a home
she
run
got
as
to
soon as you release the ball.
Yeah.
What'd you just say, Keira?
You know a home run as soon as you release it.
Ooh,
She went straight after her 0-2.
That's a great.
Like you know it. Like as soon as you release it, you know it's going to be a home run.
That's
when
crazy.
you release it,
Yep.
and you know it's not. So if it's in the air, we were going to catch it.
Yeah.
This at bat too, we had thrown all inside and rise balls, and we let off away
yeah, Keira, look at that.
completely
Yeah.
slender. I remember she got out of the box like, wait, what? But that was like,
Yeah.
like you pounded the zone on the outer half, like got in her head, and then set this next pitch up.
Come on, Mo.
Bam.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Oh,
Yeah, baby.
That's it.
Yes.
Woohoo!
oh my gosh.
Oh God, I'm at the bottom. Oh God. Oh God.
It's like, ow, 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 ow.
Right,
And
it's like,
Stevie.
I wonder where our Batgirl's at now.
Don't you think she's probably like 30 now too? Isn't that funny? Like,
Keelan, we're not that old, dude.
You are
okay, my
reverse
bad.
birthday celebration.
I'm only 29, so I don't know what you're talking about.
exactly.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
god,
Keira.
so awesome.
KG.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jenny.
Toria. Lisa came and tapped me and handed it to me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this now. Like,
I'll just scream.
Air.
yeah, just scream.
Just look excited.
That's relief.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Yay.
so special.
Yeah. Ah, man.
So we always talk about how this championship, I think all Bruins that have been a part of the program, I think this was a pivotal point. I think that Texas game was huge. Just how much you all went through from losing that first game, going through Texas twice, and then picking up that national championship. What are your final thoughts in how this game kind of changed that senior classes kind of, I don't know, not cursed, but you felt that like pressure at that point. Starting with you, Tasha, what were you like? How did you feel after that ball went in the air?
I think like kind of what Monique talked about a little bit earlier, like we were just so bought in, and it just was like all of that hard work like was so worth it. You know, we put so much into winning, like it mattered so dang much. And I think like that moment the ball went in the air, it was like, okay, yes, like we did it. And it was just, it's so worth it. We put so much into that last year, like really to walk away with the championship.
And what was the celebration like? 'Cause afterwards was not necessarily on the field in Oklahoma City. It's totally different now. Like back then, did you go to IHOP? Did you go to Waffle House? Like, what was the celebration?
Where we went? McDonald's.
McDonald's.
This wasn't the McDonald's year. It was the next year.
Oh, 2004.
Because it was dark.
We went home and then we went out to eat at that restaurant down the street later that night with all the family.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
or something, right? Wasn't like barbecue. Or,
Really?
Yeah.
And that's
Like a
that's
steakhouse.
That's when we stayed at Embassy Suites by ourselves. And when we got back, the like Embassy Suites employees had decorated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the coolest thing. We were like, how did they even know, to decorate? Oh, it was awesome.
Nothing's ever open in Oklahoma, so we end up just going back and doing our own thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing.
God, pure joy.
I think it was the relief of doing our part for the program is what I remember, and why it was so important and why, it meant so much for us. It was just, at least, what I thought was, God, we did our job. And
we finished what we were there to do.
Yeah. Yep.
And Keira and Claire, you were seniors that next year. What did you bring from that experience to, basically lead the team again back to the national title game?
I think it was just the sense of you got to work hard to get there. Just because we did it this year meant by no means that you could do it again. So I think just the work ethic and the day in and day out, every day, work hard.
I think we were better prepared too for the emotional roller coaster that is Oklahoma City. I mean, there's all bets are off once you get there. You know, you just got to kind of play the game out. And I think that is the biggest thing, is that we knew how to handle that adversity, knowing we'd have to come back the next day and play. So just that mental preparedness.
Uppy, what were your thoughts about this 2003 championship? Because you've been a part of a lot. What did you play, 80 to 82?
Yep.
Yeah, as a player?
Yes, we won my senior year because Tracy Compton and Debbie Doom were our freshman pitchers. Thank you, baby Jesus.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're all special, but this is my most special because of all that was behind it and all that we've talked about through this game. This was so special.
And Kelly, same with you. You've been a part of almost all of the championships, and this 2003 squad that we've got with us. How are they different than the rest of the teams that you've been a part of?
You know, I think at the time, you know, when UCLA dominated in the 80s and, you know, Arizona came on the scene in the 90s, but this was coming into a different decade where it was no longer, there was no dominant team any longer. So, and Sue was very disciplined. She was very hard. She was mentally always challenged them. You know, there is effort and attitude and give me 100%. And she was very, 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 very just tough on these girls. And I think what I learned as a coach too is just how powerful it is for this team to stick together. They didn't break. They actually got tighter as a group and supported each other. And a big part of it were those upperclassmen that took care of the younger Bruins, but they did it together. So like, as Puppy said, it was hard. It was emotional. There was a lot of expectations on this group, and that's what bonded them, to really allow them to figure out a way to get it done. And they had a strong voice of, we know we're supposed to be perfect and we're supposed to be Bruins and we're supposed to blow everybody out, but we'll do whatever it takes to win. I mean, literally, we'll do whatever it takes to win. And that became a very selfless, team-oriented focus on whatever it takes. And that team got committed. So they set the tone for the rest of history that, you know, when things get hard, what do? You know, we buy in, we stick together, we have each other's back. The Bruin bubble gets stronger. You know, the alumni started to show up to really help us get over the hump of that. And all these guys still come back and support the program. But it was a really, really pivotal time in our history because no longer was UCLA dominant. No team was dominant as more programs were formed. So I love this group. This is definitely, every time ESPN Today will ask, you know, what is one of your best memories of UCLA? And I always go back to this 2003 team. I mean, the commitment and their cohesion and where they are now in life, they all still stick together because they went through something pretty epic. And we have a billion stories on top of what we just shared with you. I mean, it was hard, but I always say, the harder it is, you know, the greater the reward, and it was worth it. This team will go down epic, come from behind in the losers bracket. So we now know that I can tell every team that even if we do lose, it's possible. Mm-hmm. Give us one pitch and anything can happen. And that's UCLA softball. It's called Bruin Magic, and we did it.
Great, thanks, Kelly. Anybody want to lead us in an 8 clap to end it?
Oh, for sure. Who's the youngest on this?
I'm not going to lead it, but Kelly.
I'm the youngest.
Caitlin, me, you with the
button.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8.
You.
We're all delayed.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of our Women's College World Series Roundtable. Great to see all your faces, and thank you for being a part of our game. That was fun to watch with you all.
Thanks,
Thanks for having us.
Love you guys.